Hey everybody, I'm just watching some of the UPS plane that fell apart in the sky and landed, and it's just very sad where the engine fell off the plane. It's like Final Destination in real life. Hello. Hi. We have a meeting. I'm a lurk here every now and then. Hi, Blue River. How are you? Hey, Margaret and Sade. I know it's a surprise, but I wasn't sure what time I would be done my event this evening, so I'm done. I'm done. Hey, Justice Jane. How are you? Hey, PJ. Good evening. Nice surprise to see you, too. People are a lot over at Leslie's channel. Oh, is she live right now? I'm so sorry. Really try to watch that. Hey, Beaton. Hi, Mary Jane. Hey, Harriet. Hey, Georgine. How are you? Happy to see you, too. Amy, and hello, peeps. You were on Leslie's. Yeah, I apologize to Leslie. Usually I pay attention to that. You're doing well. Good. Wybie. Wybie. How is everyone? Good? Was just on X, and whoo, it's a lot. It's a lot right now. It's kind of depressing. I mean, obviously, people have died. That Louisville flight is very close to home for me. When do I leave for my trip? I leave next Thursday. Thursday morning. I look so thin. Ooh la la. And the camera adds 10 pounds. So they say, imagine what I really look like. I don't know what I look like. I don't know what I look like. You know, my perspective of myself, I probably have that dysphoria. Is that what it's called? Dysphoria, where you're not sure how you look. I'll probably always see, I was fat for most of my life. So I just think I'll always see myself as that. What, someone died? Yeah, there was a UPS, United Parcel Service. Their main hub is out of Louisville, Kentucky. And yesterday the plane went up and one of the engines fell off, and it was full of fuel because it was on its way to Hawaii. And my cousin was driving down the road and was about to turn on to the road where the plane hit. And luckily couldn't help but see it. And luckily he's okay. But yeah. You have 2 adult children living in New York City. Well, elections have consequences, people. Elections have consequences. And apparently 30% of the Jewish population voted for this lunatic. So elections have consequences. I mean, I saw grown adults talk about free groceries, and they thought all food should be free. Well, that's just not how life works. You may think it should be free, but that's just not how life works. And government grocery stores inevitably, look at San Francisco, fail. And he doesn't even know what he wants. Like 34, he's already asking for money. Billionaires are already finding a way to get out. Hochul, the governor of New York, has already said she's not allowing him to raise taxes. New York City Fire Department chief has already resigned. It's going to be a disaster, an absolute disaster. But what I don't understand because I'm not Jewish, is why a Jew would vote for this man. I don't. So it'll be rough. It'll be rough. It'll be very, very rough. You needed something to engage your mind, and here I am, Rebecca. I mean, I'd be walking around saying eat more bacon because I, the Northeast is just lost to me. So you can't live on everything for free. It just doesn't work that way. You know, we see people on Snap that have been on Snap for 30 years. And full disclosure, when I was pregnant with my daughter, I was on food stamps and single, not yet married. So I do know poverty, and I just disagree with not working, or I just disagree with the whole thing. Like short term, fantastic. Snap starts with supplemental for a reason. It shouldn't be your entire budget. Just shouldn't. And I'm a female who was a single mom before I got married and after I got married, when I got divorced. Oh, New York City is going to be so screwed. It's not even going to be close to what that screw job is going to be like. It's going to be anal, dry anal repeatedly. That's how bad this is. They're not going to experience, and it'll take decades to come out of it. Decades. He's pro Sharia law. Why would a female vote for this man? And people are like, you're Islamophobic. I don't have a phobia of Islam. I'm a Roman Catholic and know exactly what the Muslim faith does and exactly how the men treat their women. Challenge me on it. I'm prepared. They voted for it, so you get it. Well, people can have the political hot potato, but elections have consequences. And I remember when Mayor Koch lost, and they asked him, "Or will you run again?" And he said, "No. The people obviously need punishment. They need to know what this is going to be like, and they will flee, and they will come to Florida, and they will come to South Carolina, and they will come to Georgia, and they will realize that they can't recreate what they had up there down here." So it's going to be a mess. And I love New York City. We used to go quite a bit when I lived up north. I will never go to New York City, ever. There's just no reason to go. I'm not going to go where I have to have my head on a swivel so I don't get a machete upside my head or through my throat. He wants to empty out the jails and the prisons and says crime is a construct. Crime is a construct. Meanwhile, he's uber wealthy, never had a real job, and crime is not a construct. People die. And the fire chief just quit. He's like, screw this. I'm not living like this. We are not going to be, how did he say? We're not going to be able to collaborate. Can't. I'll never visit there again. I will never go to Boston again. I will never go to any of those cities where they think it's okay to just Tallahassee, honestly, is not much better. It is not. It is a turnstile of criminals here. And Rebecca knows it. She lives here. It is a constant battle to get anyone prosecuted. We have a lousy city commission who does not care. They care about virtue signaling. They don't care about being tough on crime. You don't see our sheriff coming out like Sheriff Grady in Polk County. You will never see him showing what they took off the street. They'll show a flat image, like a picture of some money. But the guy's out. I'm going to show you a case where Tiffany Baker, Judge Tiffany Baker, let a pedophile out to kill a 5-year-old. He was the stepfather, and she didn't stop him from going into that house and murdering that child. Now the state is seeking the death penalty. Shocking. Isn't it too late? Shouldn't you be embarrassed? Why is Judge Tiffany allowed to be Missy's judge? Why is she even allowed to be the judge when she let the dad out? Now they're changing the statute to prohibit that from ever happening again. And she still has her seat on the bench. Horrible shootings. This one girl named Nia was just shot the other night by a stray bullet over downtown in Nylock Street. She's just shot. And what pisses me off the most, this stupid town, they'll be like, the public is not a threat. How do you freaking know? It's the same way Tallahassee Police Department said Lori Page was a runaway. They didn't know because they didn't ask any questions. They believed her murderer's father, the pedophile that murdered her. They believed him, so she was a runaway. They didn't even investigate, was she really a runaway? It was almost the perfect murder. If they had not done a controlled burn and burned at that plantation, they would have never found her remains. Minneapolis, St. Paul. Well, I will give Minneapolis. St. Paul just rehired a communist, but Minneapolis did not rehire that Somalian communist. So there is that. Florida is a red state, but Tallahassee is indigo. Indigo. These people think the trees will save them. God forbid you cut a tree limb. But it's murders, blase. It's blase. Like, they were hurting. Their parents beat them. They were injured as a child. They were on an IEP and they were slow and had like autism. So it's okay. That's how we live here. Yeah, well, I don't know who's in the Epstein files, but if a judge says you can't release them, what are you supposed to do? I mean, your husband says no way. There are 3. Palm Beach County is blue. Miami-Dade has turned red because of the Cubans. Palm Beach County is still blue, but they're afraid. Palm Beach County is afraid of all the influx from the New Yorkers, which they should be. The illegals won't come here because they'll be arrested. But here, it's Leon County, Gadsden County, which is the poorest county in the state, which is to our west, and Alachua County, which is where the University of Florida is, in Gainesville, is extremely, extremely liberal. Oh, you live in Washington State? Yeah, you're screwed too. Mm-hmm. Wild, Wild West, LA. And that Gavin Newsom, I mean, he's scary, man. Scary. Nashville and Tennessee are blue, but outlined are red. You voted in Duval County as red. I did not see Drina because I work. I really have a hard time watching a lot of YouTube because, praise the Lord, we are busy with real estate again. So I'm very excited. Criminals are not jailed. Mm-mm. Unless you have killed someone, you are getting out on bail. 100%. You're getting out on bail. And I have nothing nice to say about it. So I don't like the city commission, not one of them. I do not like most of the county commission. They're more worried about parks than they are about crime. You can't have a park where people can go enjoy the park Brian Welch without the crime being handled. And we have judges in this town that will just let them out on bail. There was a woman who, I guess, what was it, Rebecca? She was arrested like 2 days ago. She stole $70,000 from a church. One count of grand theft. One. That'll be knocked down. That money will never be retrieved. She did it over 5 years. Well, that's the church's fault for not checking into it. That's the church's fault for believing her. $70,000. And she'll be out. They'll do some sort of adjudication, which is my favorite word. And she'll be out. She won't suffer. 70 grand from a church. That church will never see that money. She just literally, they were giving money in a cash app. She just put it in her own account. And the church never noticed. You missed that crime? Catch and release. We basically have catch and release. Once again, Patty, you can repeat what you're saying about Tallahassee for many major cities. We're not a major city. We're an all-American city, which I find an absolute embarrassment. An absolute. When that little girl, she's like, how old was this girl? I think she was like 14 or 15 locally. It was a stray bullet. I think her name was Leah or Nia. Oh, Kira. Kira, she was 26 years old. Killed by a stray bullet. Someone fired a gun outside her home, family members told her. Do we even know who did it? Nope. They don't know who did it. This is an open investigation. This is that child. An open investigation. Just gone. $26. That's so sad. Then it's the lady, let's see, the church stole, I think it was 70,000. You know, she's out on bail. Probably gave her 500. Former treasurer arrested. I bet she's out. I bet she made bail. Patty, we can't arrest everybody. We can't incarcerate everybody. So you incarcerate nobody. Great. Former treasurer arrested after allegedly stealing over 70 grand from a local church. Grand theft and scheme to defraud charges. One charge. Pastor reported financial discrepancies after finding unauthorized change. But this is years old. That's his fault. She stole more than $70,000 from Cash App account between 22 and 25. She also served as administrator. Well, she's going to get fired from there eventually. It takes a while. She logged 487 hours of work, but was only in the building 194 hours. Thieves. Thieves are going to thieve. I bet she's out. Something tells me she's not there anymore. They don't care. They don't care. I mean, you can't make people care. You can't make the judges care. You just can't. You can't make the leaders care. They stand up there and pretend they care, and then they pull shit like this. You can't walk downtown without having a vagrant come up to you. It's a little better than it used to be, but it's tough. Even down here outside of my office. Walking up and down Capitol Circle, they're everywhere. They're walking the streets in dark clothes, walking across the street, jaywalking. It's tough. It's like almost they want to get it. And what, so they could sue you? I don't know, but it's tough. Savannah is a high crime too. It's extremely liberal. I just can't believe how some rich, entitled person who hates this great country gets elected. Neither do I. Neither do I. 80% of the crime committed by 20% of the criminals. I think it's more. I think it's 90%. I really do. Car explosion. Yeah, they're looking at bomb. They have the bomb squad out just to find out. $41 million people, almost 42 million, are on SNAP benefits. How did that happen? In like 4 years. And Allison Tant Richards, who is our state representative in this area, liberal. She's liberal. She's a Democrat. She's one of the few Democrats in the state House. And she and I were, wasn't a debate. I mean, she posted something about SNAP. And I said part of the reason for the shutdown is the number of illegals receiving SNAP benefits, which is our food stamps. And she disagreed. Fair. She was very, it was the whole polite, very polite. And I said, well, California has so many that because of their state constitution, if they don't get that $1.5 trillion, which is what the debate is on the budget, their hospital system will go belly up because they mandate that you care for illegals, everybody. I mean, they get 100% medical care, not just ER care, every type of care. So the only way to pay for that is the federal government, because let's face it, the state of California is a taker, not a giver. And someone tried to say, well, they're a donor state. They are not a donor state. They're a taker state. They are not a donor state. And she said, well, in Florida, Allison Tant Richards said, well, in Florida, it is illegal for illegals to receive SNAP benefits. And I said, okay. I said, how long has that been? 2 sessions. And I said, well, what happened to their previous sessions? And she didn't respond because, of course, they were given SNAP. That's what they got. You bring them here and you feed them and you house them and you pay for all this stuff, it will come. So all of us work, and some SNAP benefits work. And I think if you're working and get SNAP, okay, I don't have a problem with that. But just because you have 8 kids and you don't want to work and your kids are all school age, you should have to work. You should have to work. The taxpayers should not be paying your way because you have 8 kids if they are all school age. You should be okay to work. And what doesn't help are all these TikToks and X reels and stories where they're talking about they just got their SNAP benefits and they're filling up their groceries. Meanwhile, people are really struggling with credit card debt and low-income jobs, but they don't get SNAP. So you're creating a big problem among the classes by giving this out willy-nilly. I think they should have to reapply every year. I don't think it should be a full, like we just get it. I think they should have to do a full reapplication every year. I had to apply to go to school. I have to apply for my passport. I have to apply for everything. If I want a student loan, I would have to reapply every year. Why is it okay to take tax money? If I wanted an SBA loan, which is a governmental loan, Small Business Association, I would have to reapply. Why is that okay to just hand the money out to a certain group of people because they refuse to go get a job? Like, show you can try, like make an effort. And I will repeat because there's people coming on. I was on food stamps when my daughter was born, 1989. I'm obviously not on food stamps now, but there are people bragging, and you have to believe them, that they've been on food stamps for 25, 30 years without any effort on their part. And they're freaking out because, have you ever heard the old saying, a fed bear is a dead bear? A fed bear is a dead bear. So when the bears come looking for people food, they forget how to forage in for blueberries, whatever the bears eat. So they tell you to close your trash bins, and there's special locks that you can get here locally because we have a large bear population, and they love blueberries, and they travel and they navigate through the blueberries to go from they migrate one area to another. But if your trash cans are open and they can get that human food, then they really forget how to forage their own food. So they talk about a fed bear as a dead bear. It's not good for them. And that's what's happening with humans. If you don't learn how to go get a job, you cannot feed your family. And you expect the community to feed your family. Well, I mean, that's just very short-sighted and long-term problems. And I feel for those people. In fact, Living Tallahassee, which is my Facebook group, I mean, I cannot, even if you're not looking for a job, I can't think about these kids not having food because their parents don't know how to get work. So Living Tallahassee and St. John Paul II Church, my church, we're starting a food drive when we get back in December. It'll be ongoing. A lot of people said, Patty, you should give to Second Harvest. You should raise money for Second Harvest. I don't want to raise money for Second Harvest. Second Harvest got billions of dollars from, what's her name? Amazon's ex-wife. And she gave them like a ton of money at Second Harvest here locally. They don't need Patty Wilson and Living Tallahassee. They don't need it. But there are smaller pantries that are in very poor neighborhoods that's what we're going to serve. So I went to my priest, Father Tom, and we're going to start our own food drive campaign because people have extra food, but they may not have extra cash, right? So there are a lot of our grocery stores here do buy one, get one. So we're going to run food drives, and it may fail. It may not be what everybody thinks it should be, but I don't care. I'm going to try. And hopefully, with that, maybe we'll start some mentorship to help these females get off the dole, because you will never, the retirement, the government just cannot keep affording with $32 trillion in debt and giving away this money. And that's why you watch the new mayor of New York City talking all of this rose pie in the sky stuff mixed in with Sharia law, and you are going to have a mess. You are going to have a huge mess. You're going to have people flocking to New York City for the free stuff, and the billionaires are going to escape. And so Mamdani's like, no, if you choose to do business in New York City, you will be taxed like 90%. Well, then they just won't do business in New York City. The banking industry will leave. It will just be a disaster. And Hochul, the governor, she's not going to be able to stop him. She said she's going to stop him from raising taxes, but he's already bowled over her. He's already made her look like a fool. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. He's going to empty out the jails, and it's going to be bad. And it's bad here. It's really hard to get somebody convicted in this town. Really hard. As you can tell, Wendy Adelson should already be charged and waiting trial. And here we are, still. I don't know what that means, commissary. It's so weird how people would rather let kids starve than accept taxes. I don't understand that statement. I'm sorry. Roberta will have to move. Everybody's going to have to move. Oh, yeah. So Rebecca's right. So I was selling my clothes on Facebook Marketplace. And I was selling shoes. And it was actually shoes I bought that I've never worn. And my ankle. I broke my foot a long time ago, and they were an ankle strap, and I thought it would fit. I didn't try it on the store. They didn't. And the lady offered me her snap grip for the shoes. I said, "Do you even know what you just did?" I said, "I'm gonna forget you said that, and I'm going to block you." I agree. Hopefully they won't. So I again, commissary, I'm sorry, I have no idea what you're talking about. I think people keep their income on a certain level to be eligible all the benefits they do. That's why I think it has to be work related. Well, in California, you can sell your house for big money and come live in Florida for cheap. I have no problem with my tax dollars going to help people who are, oh, they can help to help themselves. That's how I feel about it. It should be supplemental or short term. It should not be 32 years. Thanks, Patty, but they're moving here because they hate the politics there. I understand that. I do. My mom, Alzheimer's, on a wait list for a care home, flooded her apartment yesterday, and now I'm applying for priority placement. I hope you get it. It'll be hard. That's exactly right. Katie Magbanua is a great example of that. Trying not to earn too much, stealing money, working under the table to get her kids benefits because she had a degree. How she got it, I'll never know. Never know. But she's servicing people, running bar service, and trying to work under the table for tips, and stealing money and committing murder to get her. Just ridiculous. Thank you, Rebecca. Supplemental and proof of consistent job history. They'll work for a little bit and then quit. They'll work for a little bit and quit. She was a scammer. She is a scammer, and she's a murderer. It's flat. It's not even close. Single mom working can't get child support, drowning with rent and food prices. Is that you, Harriet, or someone else? All the businesses will leave New York. Barstool, David Pointer, Barstool, he is Barstool Sports. He's already moved to Florida. I think he lives in Naples. But he was saying that Barstool will move. You can't have a corporation. The whole point of a corporate and the corporate board is to protect the corporation and to make money. That is the purpose of it. They are not going to allow this thug to break apart these businesses. It's never happening. And California tried it. They tried, well, if you leave here, you're still paying taxes. No one's paying them. Paying that. Saying working poor need SNAP, illegals aren't eligible. Well, the federal money goes to the states. The states then disperse the money, right? The states, what has not happened until now, disperse it like California to the illegals. It's happening. Whether you're saying that or not, it is happening. And now the feds are like, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that anymore. And it's a hard line in the sand for Trump's administration. He's just not doing it. And Schumer's like this. I want $1.5 trillion. And Trump's like, screw you. You're not getting it. It's not even close. Well, there's so many people abusing the system. It's a broken system. They should just cut SNAP and make everyone reapply. People pay the system. And a woman, when I was on jury duty, she was on Medicaid, government-sponsored health care, yet drove an expensive Mercedes. probably got snapped too. And I bet the Mercedes wasn't in her name. It's not in her name. I had a Section 8 tenant. She was the one who flooded the townhome, and she had her license revoked. Her license was gone because she had seizures. Who do you think was driving the U-Haul truck? She was. Do you think law enforcement would do anything to her driving around on a revoked license because she has seizures? And they're like, we didn't see it. We can't do anything about it. She just got out of the truck. Well, she's not in the truck. That's how stupid they are. Florida and Texas property is going to go through the roof. Yeah, it was the small numbers were on Snap, and now it's 41 million plus. I can't do Schumer's impression without hair flicks. It's like he and Harvey. Harvey has it too. Cancel it and save millions. Cancel it and reapply. Cancel it and reapply. They do get federal benefits. That's what's going to be affected. I'm telling you, those nail salons are going to be affected because people are selling their SNAP benefits. Department of Agriculture said one family still had $87,000 worth of SNAP on their account, and they were selling it. 87,000. You don't believe me, probably. It's just awful. The kids are going to hurt. The parents are going to hurt for a while, but you've got to learn how to work. And now, I don't even know, like, their flights are going to be cut. So I'm supposed to leave next Thursday, Tallahassee to Atlanta. My flight could be cut. Here he is here. I love X so much. I do. It's so funny. But here's this fool. He's like, how exactly is New York City going to become more affordable for his supporters if they have to be paying him to figure out? So he's like, he says, in order for him to make changes and make things free, he's asking for money.
Excellence, integrity, and hunger to solve. Morning, New York City. Thank you. Last night we made history, and today we begin the work of making a new administration. Welcome to the transition. This is the period over the next few months where we build a city hall that delivers on the promises of our campaign, to make New York City affordable and to make government accountable to the people it serves. As we prepare to govern, we'll start announcing the leaders who will help implement our agenda. People like deputy mayors who oversee entire areas of government, and the commissioners who carry out the critical work of city agencies. These appointments will be driven by excellence, integrity, and hunger to solve old problems with new solutions. Talking to organizers on the front lines of the fight to improve our city, government veterans with proven track records, policy experts from around the country and the world, and working people who know better than anyone what our neighborhoods deserve. And this will be a period, like the campaign we ran and the city hall to come, defined by transparency. Because New Yorkers deserve a government they can trust. On January 1st, I will be your mayor. New Year's Day, and a new era for this city. Oh, and one more thing. Remember how I told you a few months ago to stop sending us money? You can start again. This transition requires staff, research, and an infrastructure that can meet this moment. And it will be made possible by the people who built and believe in this movement. So I hope you'll make a donation at transition2025.com. Now let's get to work.
Enjoy, people. Enjoy your new town. Enjoy it, because your elections have consequences. I try to tell people, so we have an issue here in town called a fire service fee. And a fire service fee is a tax. But the Democrats felt like if they call it a fee, it won't be perceived as a tax. And you attach fire to it, everybody believes in fire safety, right? Fire service fee. So it's a great name. It's like supplemental It's a great name. Well, the city has decided they were going to raise the fire service fee. They had a collaborative effort with the county. So I live in the county, but I don't live in the city. So not all of Leon County is actually the city of Tallahassee, even though our mailing address says Tallahassee. The city decided to raise this fire service fee. The bills have come out. Someone posted in Living Tallahassee that the fire service fee used to be $200. Now it's $743. Some are getting taxed twice. They're getting taxed because they live in the county, and then they get taxed because they have city of utility bills. So it's a double taxation without representation, right? We live in the county, we don't live in the city, but we're being taxed by the city because we have the utilities. And you will see these people vote for the same fools that they've been voting for, and nothing will change. But they go on my Facebook group and they whine about it, which, hey, helps the algorithm, right? But now they're being taxed $700 to $1,000. So these people work for the state. The average state worker here in Leon County makes like $18 an hour. They don't make a lot of money. They've got good benefits, but they don't make a lot of money. And most are double income. So where's this extra $1,000 coming from? If you don't have $1,000, if you have to pay $1,000 just to live, and you can't write it off, on your taxes because it's a fee, not a tax, even though it is a tax. It's like a tariff is a tax, but it's not. Same idea. You're taxing the countries that are bringing stuff in. It's called a tariff, or in Europe, they call it a VAT tax. Still a tax. Names matter, so they just change the name. The end results are the same. This lady has to come up with an additional $1,000 she didn't have. But they vote for the same fools over and over again, and you will get the same problem. Jack Campbell, state attorney, who will not arrest Wendy Adelson, Jill Estrada, whatever she wants to call herself. I like to call her just a maggot. Guess what? He runs unopposed. He has it locked up. Nobody runs against him. And even if they did, they would likely lose because he has the name. Because that's what they do here. I went to Leon High School. So what? But here it's a big deal. Third generation Leon grad. It's the first time I've ever heard that in my life. That you, because 3 families in your DNA went to Leon, you are more entitled to run for an office here than others. They're going to in for a really rude awakening. We get 40,000 more, even purple people here on the political scale. This whole town will flip. Only need 40,000 more. And if there's a lot of people coming from up north fleeing because they're remotely conservative and they don't want to deal with New York City anymore and they're scared, they're going to come to Leon County and they're going to teach or they're going to do whatever. And they're like, no, we're not doing that again. He can't generate income. His whole generate of income, Mamdani, is on taxes, and he's not going to be able to tax because Hochul said he can't, and all the businesses are fleeing. I mean, they're just going to flee. You're out walking your dog. Hey, 10. Donna Adelson filed her appeal, and guess who her appellate attorney is? Josh Zellman. His entitled smile is very conservative. There's already been about 500,000 people that left California already. You think all politicians are untrustworthy? The mayor and governor are blue tickets in New York City and have been. It's been blue. I just said that, Jennifer, that they were going to tax people who were leaving. They were having a fleeing tax. Chicago wants to have a head tax for all employers that they will pay $21 per employee per month. So you have 10,000 employees. What's $210,000 a month? that mayor wants. You think it's really going to happen? Most of his votes came from young white females. White females. His transition team is white females. If this new mayor institutes free stuff, he's going to have to raise taxes to pay the difference. Dude is nothing but an actor out of Central Casting. Promises made, promises kept. But remember when I told you to stop sending me money? I'm asking you now to send me money. But why you need to run for office? There is absolutely no way I would ever run for office. Plus, I'm living in Tallahassee. Why would I run for office? I have a cacophony of my own funnel of people at 77,000 just in that group. I have other groups with 10,000+ in each group. So I have over 100,000 people. I would never run for office. First of all, I wouldn't win because I'm too conservative. But no way. I'm more powerful running that Facebook group because I decide who enters. Along with, I have 6 other admin now, but we decide who enters that group. There were commissioners that tried to enter the group, sitting city commissioners, and we said no, absolutely not. You're not going through our member roll for your own purpose. Absolutely not. Run from office. That's more like it. You were a state worker as a caseworker for almost 40 years. There are not any illegals receiving SNAP. There are 2, and I appreciate wherever you're from, but there are 2. There's no such thing as free shit. That should run. There are illegals. Of course there are. How many? Approximately 1.6 million undocumented adults in California receive Medi-Cal, and food. Saying that it's just a lie. They have 5.5 million food stamp recipients. 39 million residents altogether, 5.5 food stamp recipients, and 5.5 million welfare. This is California Globe. Remember the welfare to work program signed by Clinton? Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich led it. The purpose was emphasizing a work component. It was a smashing success until Obama gutted the welfare to work in 2012. Today in California, we have 5.5 million welfare and SNAP benefit recipients. The United States has 42 million. Of California's 39 million residents, 5.5 million receive the SNAP. California receives approximately 1.1 billion in SNAP benefits. California has approved 80 million in extra funding for food banks to help families facing hardship. What's extra funding? Those with developmental disabilities are a fraction of the 5.5 million. Newsom announced a statewide effort to deploy California Guard and California volunteers to assist food banks last month. It tracked 80 million to food banks throughout the state to help cut. Where does it say about the illegals? Hold on. I saw it and I don't see it. A federal audit of 28 million programs is being conducted across a variety of federal departments to determine whether illegal aliens have been getting taxpayer funded from SNAP and CalFresh. California is expected to spend nearly $10 billion on health benefits for illegals during the 25-26 budget period, an amount 28 times greater than the state plans to allocate for its own law enforcement. The report estimates 1.7 illegal immigrants are enrolled in Medi-Cal, representing 11% of all participants. These enrollees receive medical, dental, vision, prescription. Illegal aliens' healthcare benefits now account for roughly 1/4 of the state spending. In January, the USD requested every state send their SNAP data to be analyzed to make sure illegal immigrants aren't getting, and the states that didn't want to do it, the blue states sued the USDA. Not surprisingly, Newsom and the criminal Democrat thug mafia that controls California did not provide the SNAP data to the USDA. You cannot possibly tell me that they are not feeding these illegals too. Of course they are. Look at the CDL licenses where these truck drivers are getting a CDL, and Duffy, the Department of Transportation secretary, had to warn California that he will pull their right to issue any CDLs. And what says on the driver's license is no name given. How can you have a CDL license without a name on it? There have been 3 murders recently, 2 in Florida, where a California driver killed people and they were illegals. They are getting benefits. The parents live in, and they better sell quick. They better sell quick because property values in New York City will tank without business. Florida is very expensive, maybe to retire. From where? Like, it's not expensive compared to New York City. They're definitely feeding illegals. I mean, that's the whole point of this government shutdown. I don't think people realize it. It's because Chuck Schumer and the blue states need that $1.5 trillion. It's not just about Obamacare subsidies. It's about Medicare, Medi-Cal in California. Your husband worked for Cuomo for years. He's an ass, but he got stuff done. Patty brings the receipts. I mean, you can't tell me that they're not getting it because they have to be getting it. If people weren't fed and they're illegal, why would they stay? Why would they stay? They go back to their home country. I know for a fact they're getting housing here because they ride right under it. They ride right under it. Or they're living with people who are legal and they're still illegals in the house, even though you're supposed to name everyone in the house on a Section 8. You're supposed to do it. But there's no Section 8 police. There's just not enough people out there scouring it out to do it. Imagine all the illegals go home. Do you know what would happen to property values? They would drop absolutely. The rent roll would drop consistently. It would just drop because it's supply and demand. You can't undo supply and demand. I can't go to Italy in 2 weeks and decide to stay without very strict rules and my own job outside of the EU because I'm not allowed to work for the EU because I don't have an EU passport. You can't just stay where you weren't allowed. You're not welcome. And I would not be welcomed by the EU because I don't have the passport and I would need a job. I'm not independently wealthy. You have to be able to be self-sufficient. And every country should be allowed to determine their own guidelines. Sorry. I can't go to Canada and stay and hang out. I can't go anywhere. Can't go to Poland. Can't go anywhere. Shoot. An American goes to the EU now, they have to do digital fingerprints and do facial recognition to get into the EU. I only have a 2-hour layover going into Charles de Gaulle Airport, and it could actually take me longer. I could miss my flight. which is why I'm going 3 days sooner than the cruise, if my flight leaves at all. Married illegals, because they can't, what are they going to do? You're absolutely right. Married illegals with children claim they are just boy and girl. Or you marry your brother and you become a senator or a congressman from the great state of Minnesota. And they get social security numbers and they get CDLs and they get whatever they want because they needed the numbers for voting. California, or New York City has no voter ID. So everyone could vote in New York City. And Mamdani, his name was on the ballot 2 times. Why? I don't know, but it was. You're a U.S. citizen and don't qualify for anything. Even when we had bad hurricane, my lights were out for 5 days and I couldn't get a cent. Nope. No, I remember here with the tornadoes, they had emergency funds. We didn't qualify. Did not qualify for anything. Ohio is just as bad. The Dems only want the illegals to be. Anyone that has a tutu, a brain, can see their true colors and from that party. Well, as long as the borders are closed, which they are, I mean, there's been fewer people crossing our border illegal than in decades. And they're telling them to self-deport. The government will pay them to self-deport. And if they don't self-deport, they're going to incarcerate them and they're going to deport them. And the Supreme Court supports it. You have to have a nation of laws. You have to have... The city of Tallahassee has laws, but they also have bail. And the bail is like $12. So you're out. You're just out. Can't incarcerate everyone, Patty. That's what I'm told all the time. Oh, shit. In Connecticut, you had to show my driver. Here in Florida, you have to show your driver's license or your voter ID. And Americans living outside the U.S. must file federal taxes every year. That's true. What is she going on about? In California, you're never asked for ID because they dumb you down. They're like, oh, it's racist to ask for ID. Okay, well, first of all, there are only 3 races, and people don't even get that. They use the word race as if it's something, but it's not. I mean, words matter. Define the word race. There's 3: Mongoloid, Caucasoid, and Negroid. That's it. You can't say, well, I don't want Puerto Rico to be a state, so I'm racist. It's not a race. It might be xenophobia, but it's not a race. Norma, can't believe everything you read, but you want me to believe you. You want me to believe Norma Hernandez Menchaca, but I'm not supposed to read the California Globe or the New York Post, but I'm going to believe Norma. Go on about yourself, dear. Go on about yourself. So you can't believe everything you read, but believe Norma. Okay, everybody, believe her. Norma Parrish is not the other Norma. That's why I said her whole name. Is Vietnam expensive to visit? Just the flight. The flight's expensive. It's just like Japan. Visiting Japan is not expensive. The flight's expensive. Yeah. Not Norma, not our Norma, another Norma. And she's welcome here because I'm just going to tell her. This is the beauty of it. Of course you can get an ID. You can get a scratch off at the freaking bodega. You can get an ID. If you don't have to show your ID, then don't dare any of us to show a copper ID. How about that? Don't believe everything you read, but believe Norma, who worked 40 years as a caseworker and believes that nobody has. I mean, it's factually untrue. It's 100% factually untrue. You were at the U.S. consulate today, no photo of Trump. Well, someone will be fired if you report it. If you're a registered vote, why should you have to show your ID? Why is that even a question? Because you have to prove who you are. Are you kidding? Maybe in 1935 you didn't have to, okay? But today you have to. You have to show your ID to vote, and you should have to show your ID to vote. I want you to have to show your ID. I want you to have to show your ID to buy liquor. I want you to have to show your ID to buy cigarettes. If I have to present my ID to buy Sudafed, sure as shit, you should have to have an ID to vote. Patty, nice pronunciation of my name. Thank you. No need to be rude. I'm not being rude. I'm not being rude at all. I'm telling you, how do you expect, if you're saying words matter, Norma, you're saying not to believe everything I read, but I'm supposed to believe you because you have 40 years experience. I'm sorry, tenure does not equal reality. I deal with that in real estate all the time. I've been a real estate agent for 30 years. Then you go look up their numbers. They sell 3 homes a year. That's 90 homes. Are you kidding? Some people sell 90 homes in 6 months. That does not make a real estate agent. It just doesn't. You literally told me not to believe everything you read, but believe you. If I'm supposed to be discriminatory to what I read and be critical, have critical thinking skills, then I'm not going to believe you either. And you said it, Norma, and it's not rude to challenge you. You just don't like it. Harriet says, when I voted, they ran my license to verify my identity, as they should. It shouldn't be an issue. There's a reason why if you get arrested and you use someone else's driver's license and you say, that's not me, it's another charge. Why should you be able to vote? For driver's license, we had to have, because, and I don't know what these initials are. I'm sorry. Don't make me laugh, forensic. You have to show a government ID to fly. I cannot enter the European Union without my digital fingerprint. Can't enter. You know why? Because they said so. You know what I'm going to do? Put my hand on that plate. Because I'm a guest. So I do what my host says. It should not be a big deal for an American to ask for the same respect from their guests. You have to buy a lighter. Hey, can I tell you, I was shocked by that. I didn't know that until I started smoking cigars, because most of the torches or lighters that I buy are at the cigar shop. But one time I went to Ohio to see my kid and I needed a lighter. So I went into the convenience store to get a lighter and they asked for my ID. I was like, what? Didn't even occur to me that I didn't know that you had to have an ID to buy a lighter. To buy a lighter. Do you see the hair? I am clearly over 18, but I needed to show the ID. I needed the lighter, so I showed the ID. It's not a big deal. That was the rule to purchase it. That's the Ohio state law. So I followed the law. Emily, Emily, enjoy your new mayor. Enjoy your mayor. Enjoy your state. Just enjoy them. You're welcome here anytime, but you enjoy this fool, this Mambami, and all I can tell you is eat more bacon. Eat more bacon, eat all the bacon in the world. Walk down the street with a dog because that is what you're going to need to do to stop yourself from being stabbed in the throat by feral humans coming from fifth world countries. Enjoy. That's a fact too. They tried to stop it. I don't know if it's working, but stopping the wiring of funds. That is true. New Jersey didn't ask for ID in my town to vote. My opinion, it all went downhill after press 1 for English. Press 1 for English. Press 1 for Spanish. Press 2 for English. Assimilate. I had to send a utility statement, my rental agreement, my military information, which I didn't want to do. Shocker was you don't get the driver's license that day. Oh, you don't? Oh, yeah. Change your name. Get a divorce as a female in the state of Florida. You got to bring everything and their brother. And unfortunately, the way the statute's written, you still don't even know what you're supposed to bring. Use your foot for the print, not your hand. Also mandatory to have a passport just for general principle, which I have passports. Nope, there won't be digital ID here. Not anytime soon. That Starmer's trying to get it in the UK and he's getting blasted for it. My favorite smoke shop around the corner from me never asked for my ID, but Dollar General asks every time, and so does Walgreens. And I have gray hair. Yeah, I get asked. She's an idiot. Please block her. Enjoy your hell. Yeah, I'm going to remember your name because it's on the YouTube, Emily. And I'm going to come back in 6 months and I'm going to see if you even have a job or a house or utilities because you won't be able to afford them because the pot will thin. The tax pot will thin out so much. The people that were poor and can't afford to relocate will be obliterated by the weight of the tax roll. Do you really think he can do this? Yes, I do. Look at Chicago. Chicago is ruined. Chicago is ruined. It is ruined. The weight of the pensions, the weight of the taxes. They want to do a $21 head tax. $21 every month. Not a year, a month. So when I lived in Harrisburg, they had a city tax. If you worked in the city, you had to pay $10 a year. It was the right to work. It was a privilege to work in the city of Harrisburg. Now you can't go down the city of Harrisburg streets without someone in a fentanyl fold and a stabbing. And they just revoted that mayor in. The businesses aren't going to leave. Oh, Emily, I'm going to enjoy this. I don't want to block these people. Why would I want to block that? When I can enjoy the aftermath watching from the free state of Florida. Why would I block that? That's a beautiful thing to see. Emily, I'm writing down this forever. And you and your like that voted for this BS, you will see. Go to Chicago, see how that works for you. Give him a chance. Give who a chance? Mamdani? I'm giving him shit. Eat more bacon, okay? That's what I would walk down the street and I would be like, I just poured bacon all over. I would walk in with bacon grease. Bullshit. I'm not giving him nothing. Emily's going to have to wear a burqa soon. They won't get it till they live it. They won't get it till they live it. They don't read. They only believe what this stupid ass says out loud. No. I wouldn't even fly to Newark now. Chicago's mayor messed up everything. It's been messed up for a while. Cars will soon be illegal in New York. Is that another plan? Blocking is boring. I don't block people. Budget for ICE, which was 9.6 and 19.6 billion. The new budget increased to a total of 170 billion, more than total law enforcement of all 50 states. And there's a reason for that. It'll be illegal for women to leave the home. All of this women's rights BS. All of this women's rights BS. And look what women have done. And look what they voted in. They would just soon throw you off a building. And what blows the mind is the lesbians and the gays. This guy hates Jews, openly states it, hates the gays, throws them off a building if he could, and his relatives likely have, and the lesbians. And who voted for it? It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm so saddened by it's just sad to me. Delusional. Wait until they build mosques with huge speakers blasting out 5 times a day. Wait till they just close churches and make it so difficult for a church to be open. They close them through city regulations and code enforcement. And that's what's going to happen. That is exactly what is going to happen. You want to bet? Emily, you are so naive. It's going to be sadly fun to watch. Sadly fun to watch. They won't get it till they become a victim of it. Oh, Ryan. Ryan. There is no pro LGBTQ double squared XNMOP ZY. No. Muslim. None. Who's the better salesperson? You or Mamdani? They will throw. You don't get it, lady. You do not get it. You don't get it. My best friend is gay. You do not get what's about to happen. He's a wolf. He's evil. Thank you, Maureen. It's 30% of the Jewish population of New York City voted for Mamdani. So sad. I never thought I would see the day either, Jennifer. Thank you. Thank you, PJ. Let's keep working and paying for other people's EBT cards. I know. No, I'm not in Florida, praise the Lord. Trump will cut off the funds. He's already said he would. He will cut their federal money. Snake oil. Companies can, will, and must. They must leave because they cannot afford a 90% tax. That's the man's platform. He was very honest about it. I just very sad. Your community here didn't vote for him. How can a flea tax be constitutional? A flea tax? A fee tax. It's not. It was overruled in Ocala, Marion County, but it hasn't stopped these nimrods from doing it. Emily, wake up to the smell of socialism. I'll tell you what, real danger soon coming. The businesses are already leaving New York, many of whom have come to Texas. I'm not going on vacation there. Thanks, though. Thanks, Quirky S. Yeah, I talked the other night about, what was that chick's name? Lauren Matthias. Lauren Matthias or Laura Matthias? I lost 6 followers. Woo. I mean, the girl is insane, so. I mean, personally, Queers for Palestine is like chickens for KFC, but I don't think the new mayor is homophobic. I'm not even going to share that. Sorry. I guess he was elected by the citizens, Ryan, and I'm going to enjoy the view from Florida. They're not getting any of my money. Will women be allowed to drive there? I don't know. I mean, there's very few people that drive in New York City now anyway that aren't immigrants driving cabs. Is Donna still at Lowell? She has not moved. She's not at Lowell. She's at the reception center. That's a different location near Lowell, but she's not at Lowell. They have a wall. I mean, a lot of New York City is an island, so a lot, not all of it. 5 boroughs total. Oh, businesses flee. No, businesses are going to flee. Hey, George. Yep. Happy Veterans Day. We'll be in the parade. Lauren is a drama queen. Was it Lauren? They're blocking all the businesses with bike trails so you can't park. Where are they moving to, Emily? If so many people are leaving Florida, where are they moving? You can have a different opinion. I welcome it. I haven't blocked you. I just am going to enjoy the nightmare. Sometimes I just don't understand why people believe in any socialism ever. It has failed in every respect. Name one government socialist that has thrived. There isn't one. In the history of the world, it has never happened. Hey, tennis girl, how are you? You dread going to Florida and being free. So sad. We have digital voting where I vote. We sign on the screen. Our signatures must match. We have that here too, Donna. We have that here. And that's hard for me because I have arthritis in my hand and my signatures change drastically. Socialism hasn't changed in Scandinavia, but they pay an 80% tax. You also can't thrive. Most of the businesses aren't from there. They go there. Her daughters, she fled communism and her daughters voted for him. Everybody wants free shit. And meanwhile, Bernie Sanders has 3 mansions, but yet he's a socialist. How's my eye? Oh, thank you for asking. Pretty good. Pretty good. I still use the antibiotic ointment, but it's pretty good. Thank you. I don't think they teach it in school anymore, Jennifer. I don't think they teach communism and socialism and democratic socialism, which is kind of an oxymoron. I don't think they teach it. I know they don't teach libertarianism. I think here in town that people really do have big hearts here in Tallahassee, and they really want to give away free shit. They just don't want them to give away the free shit. They don't want to write the check to the city of Tallahassee to give free shit away. They want me or other people to be taxed. They believe in taxes where I don't believe in taxes. I'm a libertarian. Governor DeSantis is trying to eliminate property tax, and we'll have a consumption tax, but he's only trying to eliminate it for the homestead property, not for the property that you have investments on. And we'll have a consumption tax, which is fair, because if I choose to buy a dryer, I pay the tax. If I choose to keep my dryer, I don't pay the tax. And we're just such a what's the term? Based on tourists. Elian Omer is a multimillionaire in a public position who married her brother. I have no other comment on her. AOC is a millionaire now, but she wasn't when she started. She was a bartender. So how on earth did she make millions being a congressperson for $140,000 a year? How's that work? They don't teach 9th grade civics anymore. You made an apple, cranberry, and pomegranate pie. Thank you, Tater. Tater, you should run for something. The government produces nothing. Tell the people with the fire service fee, where the fire service fee here in Leon County doesn't even go to the firefighters. Doesn't even go to them. I don't know what these people are going to do that don't have the income and have the debt. I don't know what they're going to do. City of Tallahassee will have a recession if it's not already in recession. It will have a recession over this. You know, people cannot just be taxed and taxed and taxed. They haven't doged Leon County yet, but they will. And you cannot keep just pulling. The water bill here is outrageous. It's criminal how much water costs in this town. You have to have water. They're demanding people who live on a septic go to sewer. And some of these people have never had sewer and never had the bill. And they're already dirt poor. Won't stop this stupid ass city. Will not stop them. They will force it on them. The school district where you live still teaches cursive. They don't learn it here. They don't learn cursive here in Leon County. Your water is $13. My water is $129. 2 people. We don't do laundry every day. I don't cook at home much. 129. We need home ec and shop. We do. People can't spell anymore either. And they don't even try, Ryan. They don't even try to spell. And if you say something to them about it, you're racist. Day 41. I think it's 41 days. I think it's 41 days we have to be shut down. How long? Permanent cuts. I think it is 41 days. Hold on. I don't see it. We're at 36 days, but I think it's something like there's a 41-day rule maybe, and then he can start cutting budgets. And that's really going to hurt. And he said he's going to cut the Democratic programs. He's already cut some of them. I have to see where it is. I think it was like day 41. Oh, I don't know if it's day 61 or day 41. But supposedly this clean CR, so this clean bill that John Thune, who's this Senate Majority Leader, wants the Democrats to pass, expires on the 21st. And so it all has to be redone again anyway, because it was only like, a 60-day budget bump. Like it was only supposed to be that far. So I think on September, or what month am I in? November 21st, that, it expires. But I think it's a 60 day or 41 day. I forget what I read, but that he can just start cutting the employment. So we'll see. We will see. I mean, we all know somebody who works for the federal government. And they're going to start screwing up flights. 3,500 flights a day will be canceled. That's going to hurt. So we'll see. They need just a few senators to come to get the clear CR. But again, it expires in a couple days. Your water is $13. You canceled your flights for Thanksgiving because I believe there will be huge amounts of cancellations, not spending my holidays stranded in the airport. It's going to be rough. You were in the last shutdown. My daughter, her budget wasn't affected, but now it's getting to the point where she works for Department of Logistics. Her budget will be affected, and she won't be furloughed and get to go home. She'll have to go to work. Your dad couldn't cook toast. We had home ec. I went to private Catholic school. We had home ec. And we had typing, which I always thank Sister Jude Christine. Sister Jude Christine created a situation where I could always make money because I could type, and I typed quickly. I was a very fast typer, even to this day at 58. And that's Sister Jude Christine. This has to happen. We'll all be slaves to the Democrat. We'll all be slaves to the debt will all be slaves to the $32 trillion debt. Our military is effed now after this last. Service members are overweight. Oh yeah, all those rules changed. I remember when I had my third child and a second child, because that's when I left. I was in for 6 years, which I only had a 6-year term. I was in the reserves, and they told me after I gave birth I had like 30 days to lose all that weight. I was like, it's never coming off. I still have baby weight. Are you kidding me? Thank you, Air Force. It's never happened. Hi, Ann. How are you? Never happened. Why does Congress get paid? Because they make the rules. They make the rules. But a lot of them have chosen not to take a check. A lot of them have. Typing was your most useful class. Me too. It was very useful. Sewing too. I sewed. I don't sew anymore because I can't see to do it. But typing is. I don't do the hunt and peck. I'm a typist. I remember that Tater Bug. Tater Bug had she's a carnivore. Yeah, we can't get help to pay for life-saving meds. Nope. And I would like to know why the insurance companies, completely separate issue, the insurance companies won't pay for the weight loss meds. My blood pressure is perfect. It's better than perfect. It's never been this good. Since I became a mom, probably wasn't this good. Why won't they pay for it? The government, back in the day, in the 1800s, used to shut down for 8 months. It was a part-time government. Can you imagine? Like the state of Florida, we don't have a full-time legislature. They only have like, what is it? Maybe Rebecca knows, like 12-week sessions. That's all we have. They're not full-time. It's lush. California, full-time. New York State, full-time. We don't have full-time. I think Illinois is full-time. We need to bring shop maintenance, home ec, carpentry, classic trades. When my son left after his years ended with the Army, he went and used his GI Bill, which was smart, to get his welding certificate. And he makes a very good income. He won't pay for it because they want us sick and fat. It's not my words, it's someone else's, but I believe that. The weight loss meds will cost them less in the long term, less illness. Now, I still take my blood pressure medication, and because I have edema and I have a family history of congestive heart failure. So I still take it. But even if I miss a day, my blood pressure is perfect. I don't think I'll ever be off this shot. Thank goodness there are compounding pharmacies offering the weight loss injections. I'm so over insurance companies dictating our health. Well, if you do live in Florida, and I'm sure there's other states too, what about the car insurance? Car insurance is killing people. The cost of car insurance. Florida, I know it's regulated, but it's not. They'll just double it. Just double your insurance. I was going to trade 2 cars in, give up 2 vehicles, and buy a Tesla, and my insurance would have gone up. for one car. Yep. 2 cars for one car, and my insurance would have been higher. Does that even make sense? But that is a racket. We are a very fat country, Ryan. See, we have things we agree on. You think government wants you to die sooner so you won't be a drain on Social Security? You're right, Karen. How are you? It was your words. I said what I said, and I agree with you, Corky. If any Gen Zs out here are the rare ones that actually does cook and basic maintenance, I'm proud of you. Our Catholic high school had typing and home ec. Yeah, we had it. The nuns taught it. It was lush. Car insurance is high because of uninsured motorists and no-name CDL drivers. The other challenge is the no fault. So here in town, you can run a red light and they won't cite you for the red light running when there's an accident for the red light. They just won't cite you for it. So when no one's at fault, both people are at fault. That's how it works. It's like divorce, no fault divorce. When no at fault, it's everyone's fault. You can't have it that way. It is outrageous, our car insurance. Outrageous. We all do agree on Adel Turds. That's a great name, Ryan. The U.S. isn't the fattest anymore. What's the fattest state or fattest country, Tim? You're a proud liberal and have been your whole life. Bless your heart. Ooh, I learned shorthand, Sister Jude Christine. Yep. I still use shorthand tablets. So fun. Because nobody knows what I'm writing. It's great. Is shorthand used anymore? By Patty, it is. I like it. I had civics and penmanship. Now I can't barely spell and hold a pen correctly. The pen thing is a problem. Hey, Armand. Euthanasia is legal here in Canada. Our government is shit. Illinois just approved it. Medical assisted suicide. People are fat because they stopped eating butter and meat and started eating crap that came out of boxes and shit from restaurants. So on the GLP, I don't have the problem, but a lot of people do have the problem for constipation. And the Facebook group's just like, eat more butter, eat more butter. And I was like, is that a thing? That if you eat more butter, you're not constipated? Does anyone know? Samoa is... John Smith, how are you? Homeowners insurance, car insurance, and health insurance. Oh, I'm a liberal socially. I am a liberal socially. You can do whatever you want. But I'm a libertarian. So that's how it works. I could care less. Just don't run a red light. Don't hurt other people. But I am extreme conservative fiscally. You'd like to learn shorthand. I mean, I'm sure there's a YouTube for it. Nauru Islanders might be the fattest people. I wonder who it is. Now you've got me asking. What is the fattest country? My poor algorithm's going to be. Nauru or Tonga? Good job, Armand. It is Tonga with rates of obesity at 60 to 70% in Nauru, and Tonga is over 70%. Cook Islands, Palau, and Marshall Islands. They live on an island. Why are they so fat? That's hilarious. I had no idea. The Pacific Island nations have extremely high obesity. The importation of Western foods and lack of physical exercise and cultural preferences. Wow. Thank you. I had no idea. I thought the United States was it. Slips right out. I didn't know. I thought it was Bogart. Like, I thought it was a complete lie. It greases your colon. And they were like, eat more butter, eat more butter. Really? They're like telling people to put butter in your coffee. Has anyone ever done that? Put butter in their coffee? Yes, Patty, it keeps things greased, but you have to get good butter like Kerrygold. That's what we buy. Call it Dr. Kevorkian. I had no idea. As soon as I say colon, Blue River's coming back. You're a constitutional American. Not any kind of butter. It needs to be good, high quality butter, grass fed. Thank you, Jennifer. I just had no idea. You've never seen a skinny Samoan. Butter in your coffee, Scott? What's it taste like? Buttered coffee. You live outside in Albany, which thankfully is D stronghold. My suburb went 75-25 for all the D candidates. R didn't even run candidates for same position. That's how it is in Leon County, capital city. They won't even run. I've heard of butter in coffee. I put butter in my coffee, but I put butter on everything. Just put it in your butthole. 20 minutes. Does anyone have access to Florida docket? Yeah. What do you want to know? Our brains and bodies need fat and butter desperately. You put cayenne pepper in your coffee. Why? Why would you do that? Spicy flavor, small pinch. Adjust the amount to your taste. Can be enjoyed like with cinnamon. But why? I feel like it helps it blend faster, but I just don't understand. Thank you, Sue. It's very nice of you. I appreciate that. You have tons of money. Why would you announce that on YouTube? Why would you say that? It's so unsafe. Emily, don't say that. Take that down. Remove that comment. I just saw that and I was like, why would you say that? It's so unsafe. If I put butter in my coffee, I'd have the shits for 2 weeks. Colon blue? Really? Butter and or coconut oil. I have tried coconut oil and coffee and I thought I was going to yark. Like I couldn't take it. It's the buttered rum. That's different. Buttered rum is different. I had rum for the first time 2 nights ago. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the Drina interview. Is it on? Will Surviving the Survivor mind? I don't even care about copyright infringement. I get so sick of everyone and their copyright BS. Sorry. Paula Dean just eats sticks of butter. She's still alive. Is Paula Dean still alive? Charlie's appeal is due by midnight. Okay, let me look. Oh, I gotta look at. Forget it. I'm sorry. I gotta look at the state. What is it? DCA 1. Yeah, it is. 1 DCA. My bad. Adels. Remember Edelweiss? Every time I type Adelson, for whatever reason, I think. There's an extension on the order. If you click on this, 1021. The court grants appellant's motion for extension of time filed, blah, blah. Appellant shall serve the reply brief on or before November 5th. Today, court will not grant further extensions. So that's what it said. It's just constant with these people. Why did he get an extension? Appellant is appealing his convictions and sentences. Unfortunately, undersigned counsel, Offerman's recent schedule requires him to seek an extension. It's constant. Constant. The man is going to lose. He's asking for November 5th, but it's not here. "13 minutes. I can't believe as much as they paid this man, that won't get on the docket. But we'll see tomorrow. Okay, let's now look up the Donovan. Mother, son. When mother, son have unbelievable notice of appeal. Documents not available. First District Court of Appeal has received a notice of appeal. All documents filed in this case must contain the court's case number, notice of attorneys and parties, copy of order, docketing. It was Zellman that did it, right? Didn't Zellman write the appeal? Can you believe that? Can you honestly believe that woman is keeping Zellman? Yeah, Charlie's appeal is 20 minutes. Thank you, Susan. That was very nice of you. Thanks for becoming a member. I thought he got an extension till 10:05. I mean, till 11:05. Better get her done. He's got 11 minutes. Lisa Mona says he got an extension so his dick can slip through to the next cell for a quick one. Carl said Charlie will get a new trial. He won't. He's still appealing the same thing. It's taken decades after Trump. Well, there might be an after Trump. We had a Muslim mayor in Calgary for 2 terms, and we survived and thrived. Good for you. I lived in New York City. We voted for him too, and I'm Jewish. It just gets better, Emily. How do you finds everything? Oh, Adelson. Don't you think of Edelweiss? Like, that's what I think of. There was a post on Dan Markel Justice where Aaron Rickards trashed Drina over the interview. Aaron Rickards stick to HR. How are you an HR person? How on earth are you HR? What do you care? Like, what do you care if the girl has an interview or not? It's none of your fucking business. It's none of your fucking business.
On that cloud of getting out of jail and everything's perfect. So yeah.
And you know what? I hope you stay out. Now I know this part is not easy, but if I read it correctly, I think you've been arrested something like 27 times, which is a fair amount.
That's exactly what I'm talking about in the county of Florida.
I understand. You know, you dealt with like a drug issue, which brought you back in. How hard has it been for you to try to kick that and just keep yourself free?
It is extremely challenging. I think that one of the biggest things, the biggest thing for me, and I believe other addicts as well, is being able to process that pain.
I don't really want to listen to that. Sorry.
You know, Drina's specific circumstance right now, but it can't hurt to at least have the.
So.
Yeah, that's really tough. Yeah. And again, I know T, but it's actually with a D, Drina. And you said that your parents were hippies. Number one, are your parents still with us? Your parents still around?
My mother is, and by the way, Drina powder donuts, and then like 3 minutes later, she walks up and hands me it's toilet paper with something in it. And I was like, okay. And inside was one powdered donut. And I was like, oh, well, thank you. So that was my first interaction with Miss Donna. And then we just started talking. And ultimately, she wanted to know if I had been locked up with Kay. So I feel as though now, you know, in retrospect, that was all planned, you know. So, but for me, I had a donut. So I was excited, you know. So, but that's where it started. And then I actually liked her in the beginning because I fell for the fraud, the front. And then when I saw the truth, things changed. So, but yeah, that's how we met.
Yeah, that's, you know what? It's absolutely fascinating because if you did watch the trial, Georgia Kaplan and Sarah Catherine Dugan used a powdered donut as a metaphor.
Really?
That's what they used as a metaphor for direct and circumstantial evidence, and they used a powdered donut. So it's so weird to me in a interesting way that's the first thing you got. There's memes going around with Donna Adelson's face covered in powdered donut because of that. So it's crazy. Is that something you can get in the commissary, or did Donna smuggle in powdered donuts?
You can get it on commissary, but she did have things smuggled in as well. And yeah, I mean, not a big deal for us out here, but in there, highlighters and stuff like that. Very important.
Yeah.
But
So now here's the deal. For full disclosure, I'm terrified of prison, never been to jail or prison, and I'd like to keep it that way. But you always hear, the inmates know exactly who's coming in. You say you didn't really know much. Did you know that she had a son who was convicted in this murder plot? I mean, what did you know about her prior to actually getting that powdered donut for the first time?
I mean, very little. And honestly, it was just because that's not where my focus was. I didn't really care. I had my own, things going on for myself. But then once I got to know her, then I became curious. So really, no, not much at all. And then, people would come to me and then I was like, oh, that's that case. Cause I was locked up with Catherine Magbanwa.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, Donna and I then got close. We're together 24/7. And then I knew everything and things I did not want to know. So yeah, I went from not knowing at all to knowing too much.
All right, so let's just break this down in terms of time. So you knew Kay, who's Katie Magbanwa, and she's serving a life sentence. So she was, did you know her from when she was awaiting trial? Like, does it go back to that point?
It was before trial, yes. And I met her and, we weren't very close at all, even though that's what Donna wanted me to portray. But yeah, I mean, I knew her from jail. So
you knew Kay from jail,
right? And just as an acquaintance, that's it. So yeah,
so you guys cross paths there. And did you know that Kay was in there for this murder for hire plot?
I mean, yeah, I did. That was what was going around. But it's like I didn't like. For me, I don't really gossip. I don't really like to judge. And plus, you never know what's real in jail. In jail, you can be in there for anything, and you can also make up what you are. You can be a cardiac, surgeon, because nobody knows the truth. So, but I was aware. And then I, didn't ever think it was going to come to this just because I knew Kay. So, yeah.
So now Donna gives you now moving forward. So for those who are watching, and if you're just tuning in, this is Drina with a D, like Tina, but DR, Bernhardt, originally from Tallahassee. And she knew both Katie Magbanwa and then Donna Adelson in the Leon County Jail. So now you get to this point, Donna comes in, you're not really sure, who she is or why she's there or any of this. She gives you this powdered donut. You find out, I think, after the fact that, she wants someone who knew Kay to maybe help manipulate a situation. How long did it take you from the time she hands you that donut until you kind of had this revelation that you were being, I guess, I hate to use this phrase, but kind of used by her? Did you feel that way? I feel that was happening.
Oh, there was definitely used, manipulated. She thought that I had no brains at all, I suppose, and that my life, I was such an addict, I'd be willing to give up my life to help her, but yes, there was a change in her demeanor. One day, we would walk around the pod, and she told me one day that she couldn't stand her son Robert, and she got very nasty and said some things she wished she could do to him. And at that moment, I have two sons, and that wasn't the Donna she had been portraying to me. This wasn't the cute, every poor me Donna. This was maybe the real Donna. And that's when I was like, wait a second. And then, it was like my eyes opened up, and then I started to get angry because of,
Hold tight right there. So you're starting to get to know her. This is important for people watching here. And so now you're walking around the pod one day, and she confides that she really hates this estranged son. This is her own flesh and blood, by the way. Right. And it's her son, Robert. And obviously you have kids, and there's nothing like parents' love. I have 3 kids.
Right.
What can you tell us how that came up, if you remember, and like what she said about him specifically?
Sure. Well, initially she was talking about his marriage and how he felt as though she ruined it, and that was, he was so angry with her, and then he was not a good child when he was younger, and you know, but Charlie was this perfect angel, and so I just listened. But yes, Robert, she was very angry with him because she knew he was testifying against her.
Yeah.
And so,
Did she tell
yeah, that was.
at that point? Did she tell you he was going to testify in this trial?
She said that he had done a deposition, and that yes, he was not on her side at all, and that he would be testifying against her. And she was extremely concerned. Yeah.
Yeah. And did you did you ask her any questions like why would your son testify against you? Anything along those lines?
Not so much. She was more of a talker. And then if I did have questions, I didn't want her to think that I was probing, or maybe just concerned about the case, or, this or that. Because, like I said, initially I was fond of her. So I did ask questions, but not that one specifically. What really interested me was just her money situation, her travels, and then her lack of interest in the Dan and his family and the kids. It was just very nothing, no remorse, and I don't understand that. And that got me every day, because I was waiting for that day to where she would say, I feel so bad, or maybe cry, but it didn't. So that was strange to me.
Yeah. By the way, I just want everyone to really take a moment to appreciate that Drina is speaking. Think about this. She was in jail with a woman accused of a murder for hire plot whose husband is a free man. And it takes a lot of courage to get up and do what Drina is doing. And I have no doubt that she testified, and we'll get to that with Drina, because of her integrity, because she's a good person and wanted to do the right thing. I see, and Drina, I'll have you address this. People openly say, oh, she's just a drug addict. She's just a self-serving person. Would you like to address that? I mean, what's so sad is that when people are drug addicted, you said it, and when they go to jail, people just assume that they're no longer like a human entity, that they're not a person anymore. But you are, I can tell, like you're a very good-natured person. You have a lot of good in you, I think, contrary to Donna. Yeah, contrary to Donna. And by the way, I'm not going to get into specifics, but Donna's had very difficult relationships with other members of her own family. And, I think it's, I think from her doing, but I just want people to realize that for you to come on here takes a lot of courage. So kudos to you for that. Now
it's important. It is very important to me, because who I am not the word addict. I'm me, a beautiful, loving soul, as are many other addicts. And so I'm grateful for this, because even if I can reach a few people, and maybe my children will see this and remember that, even though society says mom is bad, that I'm actually still me. So yeah, thank you so much.
did I ask you how old your children are?
They are 24 and 20.
Oh, so they're big kids. And
Yeah.
men, women.
They are both boys. It's hard for me to talk about them, so I may tear up. So
Yeah. But are they doing okay?
So they are, but since I have been in trouble with the law, they stopped speaking to me. So I mean, not the whole time, but the past few times. So I miss them very much.
Yeah. You know what? I bet you that relationship will be repaired. I guarantee it. I don't want to make comparisons. I don't think Rob and Donna will ever be repaired, but you'll be able to repair that relationship. I have no doubt about it.
I believe that.
Yeah. You got, I'm good at giving advice. I think I'm very bad at following it, but it's there's it's just little tiny baby steps. You can't expect too much of yourself too fast, but little baby steps. But
Right.
Still
so now
nothing.
Donna at some point, literally, I believe, starts calling you her jail daughter and even sunshine. Is that true? When does that? When do we reach that part of the relationship between the two of you?
Okay, so this was the thing. The whole thing was that so I would talk to Harvey on the jail phone as well, like with her. And so they weren't allowed to call me Drina for these were Donna's rules because you know, she didn't want the jail calls are recorded and she didn't want it known that it was me. So it was Sunshine. So that was my nickname. So then when I called Harvey, was to call Harvey when I got out, we were going to use Sunshine. The whole thing was a manipulation. She was trying to blow my head up. You know, it was, you're my jail daughter, you're beautiful, you're this, you're that, which I mean, even though I am those things, no, I'm just kidding. But like, I knew it was a manipulation, you know, so the jail daughter was her idea and, you know, she could cry on cue and she would do that with me. And, you know, it was just, it was all, there was all a plan behind everything. So even the Sunshine name, it was, you know, so that's how that came about. So yeah, jail daughter of Donna Adelson.
And
Yes.
but I mean, your advantage in an odd way is that you've been in and out a lot, and I have a feeling you realize that this manipulation was starting to happen. You brought up Harvey. Harvey's an interesting character in all this, and you know, most of the people who are watching this have been following this case closely for many years. But my own dear mother, she from day one has said that Harvey Adelson, who's a free man, has been complicit in this all along. He's a, you know, my parents, my dad was very quiet, kind of like to Harvey's quietness, and Donna's
I don't think
loud
Harvey's
and gregarious. My mother's that way. So my mom knew just because you have a quiet husband doesn't mean he's not involved. And then when I was there for the trial, I've said this 1,000 times, I just got a very scary vibe off of Harvey. So now, did you talk to him? What was your interaction with Harvey?
Okay, so my first interaction was Donna called me over. She was on the phone with him on her bunk and she wanted me to say hi. So I said hi and he was, you know, very kind. And he reminded me of someone like maybe from the mafia, like, you
Yep.
know, Robert De Niro or Al Pacino or something. So, but yeah, he talked to me. And then when I would get a toothache, we would call him and he'd tell me what to do. He was nice, but I felt it, I was intimidated by him. And then when I was in the courtroom and I looked over and saw him, I got very scared. So yeah, I don't know what it is, just the air, the vibe. Yeah.
He's very he very much gives off like a mafia don mob boss
Yes.
vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw him every day, but I saw him at the Metro Deli, and there's something very scary about him. I mean, we had another guest on that was friends with Dan Markel, and she literally, this was 11 years ago when the crime happened. She went to church after meeting him and bought a gun and then left.
Sorry, I had to get a piece of gum. My mouth was super dry. Did Charlie get the appeal in on time? I don't think so. I mean, I had it open. I just shared it, but doesn't show here. I don't know. Let me see. How long does it take once you file? Does it go onto the docket? When you electronically submit a motion or document, it will show up on the document almost immediately, but it says its status will be pending until it is officially processed by the court. The time for it to be processed could vary. When you click submit, the document is transmitted to the court system and appears on the docket almost instantly. The clerk will review the filing to ensure all documents are correct and properly formatted. Well, that's a problem. That's a problem. That is a problem. All that money, and Upperman couldn't meet a deadline.
Tallahassee. This is a very smart. Was a woman that went to Harvard Law School. She, is a very.
Well, you're definitely not scaring me now.
No. I mean, it's just. Yeah. So when you, the first time you talk to Harvey, you get a
First District Court of Appeal. It says it should be almost immediate that a motion or a document is submitted to the ACIS docket, the Appellate Case Information System, and it ain't there. It ain't there. There it is. It's not there. Ufferman charges a lot of money. How can you fuck this over? I mean, how can these people fuck this over? Appellant shall serve the reply brief on or before November 5th. The court will not grant further extensions absent a showing a bona fide case of emergency. They did this earlier with him. There was an extensions earlier. Motion extension, motion related to the brief. Extension to serve the initial brief. He's had this. This has been a problem. Stop taking more cases than you can handle. Ufferman doesn't make mistakes. Something else is going on. Motion for extension, motion for extension. Says today was November 5th was the last extension. I just read it. That's it. They said it should be instantaneous. We may not be able to read it, but it should be instantaneous that it's on there. Said today on STS, it's not a good look to be late. Those appellate judges are very strict and by the book. Well, why should they? I don't understand. Follow how the French eat and you won't get fat. Can't wait for juicy fruit gum. Maybe he's giving up Wendy. Yeah, but you still file your appeal. Answer brief by the state of Florida. So he's supposed to reply to this answer, right? That's what's in line. Adelson waived his change of venue, which he did. Failed to comply. Court reaches. I mean, this is just. What happens? You wonder if there's another extension and it's not posted. Let's go back to what he wrote. Hold on. This was the reason why he needed an extension. I'm saying these attorneys take too many cases and then they can't function. Recent schedule requires him to seek an extension of time. Filed a reply brief, Crawford versus State. Filed a reply brief, Booth versus State. Filed the reply brief, Wilson versus State, not me. State versus Perez. Initial brief for Cugini versus State. Petition for writ of certiorari for Kolemage versus the secretary. Someone wants to sue the secretary. Oh, nice. Who's that? Kolemage. Local builder dies at 88. No, probably not it. Versus secretary. USA. Kevin something. Wow, look at this. First one I opened. Hold on, get rid of it. The issue in this case is the petitioner's request for a certificate of appealability was improperly denied. Unfortunately, undersigned's counsel's schedule requires him to seek an extension. Oh my God. He just goes on about why he's not making the. He goes, unfortunately, undersigned counsel's schedule requires him to seek an extension. In particular, the 11th hire people enters its order. Undersigned counsel has participated in one oral argument before appellate court, 2 post-conviction hearings before a circuit court, lectured at 2 legal education seminars. Stop lecturing. You got to give something up. Attended an annual meeting of criminal defense lawyers, so you had a cocktail, and attended the bar convention. Stop. In addition, undersigned counsel will be attending 2 post-convictions before circuit courts, 1 trial before a circuit court, sentencing hearing before a federal court, and so stop taking all the clients. No party will be prejudiced by granting a 30-day extension. In your opinion, I think the state's prejudiced. Who am I? I don't think I would go for the same attorney for my appeals. Looks bad for Charlie. Is this really Zellman? I thought it was someone more famous and better. So far it's Zellman, doesn't mean it won't change. Okay. Emily, you talking about you having plenty of money is not my responsibility. You wanting to reply to me to say that you have plenty of money. Sometimes it's better to say nothing. Have you thought about that, Emily? Sometimes it's better to say nothing. I'm talking about your own home outside of Albany, and you're talking about how much money you have. It's just not smart. Hi, Liza. How are you? I don't know. I wonder if he has any other appeals going. Hold on. Because you can look up attorney in this docket. You can look up attorneys. Wait, let me do it this way. Make it look like in the county docket. You can't look it up. Represented by Jessica Yeary. That's Thurston, same thing. So not really. Here, representation. What was the reason? Returned exhibits. I'll have to read this tomorrow. We're 201 pages redacted. Who's this person? Daryl Harris. He's a sex offender. No, that's Daryl C. This isn't different. Case dated back to 2006. Review denied. He just lost, like he just lost, period. Just said review denied. Well, Charles, what's going to happen now? Anybody know? You have an Amazon addiction. I had a Diet Coke addiction, but it literally went away with the shot. Well, I just showed you. There's one appeal and he lost. Jay Cash, you came in really late, dude. Came in late. Pay a lot in taxes, which I'm very happy to do, and I give a lot to charities. Good for you, Emily. Thank you, Liza. It is healing. Jeff Bezos. Yeah, that's right. That's what it was. Wife, his ex-wife. Diet Coke, man. I know Pepsi. I know it's sad to see. You want to hear Donna testify? That would have been great entertainment. I don't know what happens. I honestly don't know. What happens? I'm looking. Oh my God. This is what Google says. Because that's all I have right now. It says when an attorney misses a jurisdictional appeal deadline, such as a 30-day window to file, the right to appeal is generally lost. Well, this isn't that. This is a reply date. The attorney misses a first DCA appeal date. The other party, appellee, can file a motion to dismiss. The attorney can then file a reply to that motion explaining the delay and why the appeal should not be dismissed. The court will likely grant the extension if the attorney shows good cause for the delay, but without it, somebody better have had an ER visit. The court may issue an order dismissing the appeal, which the attorney then can respond by filing a motion to reinstate the appeal. Consequences: motion to dismiss, automatic dismissal if the 15-day extension period is not met. Court dismiss the appeal automatically. Lack of oral argument: if the appellee fails to file a brief, they may not be heard by oral argument unless the court grants permission. How to respond. Here's like AVOO, which we all know Josh Selman is AVVO, like award winner, whatever that means. My attorney thought a request for hearing would stop the clock for filing an appeal, and the 30-day time limit would start from the date the judge is denied. Unfortunately, most courts are very rigid when it comes to filing periods. A deadline to appeal, you're most likely out of luck. On the morning I emailed an attorney and recommended to have a blah, blah, blah firm. No one from the firm contacted me. Well, you're pretty much SOL. It looks like, I don't know. Doesn't look good. I wouldn't want to be him. I wouldn't want to be Ufferman right now. You used to use Diet Coke to clean your windshield. Thanks, 10. How much have I lost? I've lost 104 pounds total. I've lost a good bit, like a third of that since June 20th. You don't think Charlie cares? I don't think he cares either. But that's what's up. I mean, it's not there, people. It's not there.
Sense that they're like, again, like manipulating you for something that's coming down the road. I mean, that they're being this nice to you.
Oh, I remember.
Yes,
that.
once I knew, I was aware the whole time. Yes. So I just, but I guess because maybe they had been able to do it for so long that, they just thought. I got from them that the entitlement, that I don't know if it was money or that they just really thought that they were better. I'm not sure what it was, just this sense of, we're able to do these things to people that shouldn't really be allowed. And that's my own words, I don't know. It's just, I can't really verbalize exactly what it is. Entitlement, maybe. But yes, I definitely felt the manipulation from both of them.
So let me try to deconstruct that a little. So at what point did Donna say, we come from a very well-to-do background. My husband was this big dentist and my son is this big periodontic. Like, how did you find out they came from? Okay. How did you start to put it together that this is a woman who has, her son drove a Ferrari. They lived in the same building as Alex Rodriguez, the baseball player. Like, they come from a lot of wealth. How did you come to find that out?
Okay, so I have heard their travel stories, the places they would go, every country, the way she would describe it, the houses that they've owned, that they rent out their family. She's been on Wheel of Fortune and just, but the places they've gone, the amount of money they've spent on the lawyers, and, she never bragged about it, but just her life experience. I don't know what I would do with one of those vacations, but I mean, yeah, a lot of she had a good life, it sounded like. So
now, she kind of strikes me as like not really knowing her environment necessarily. I'm curious what the other inmates in there thought of her. And I mean, number one, she talks a lot, obviously, but um jail, I don't know that jail is the best place to sit there and like brag about yourself and these like worldly trips to Vietnam and this place and that place. Were other inmates annoyed by her? Did they find her entertaining? What was the consensus from the other people in there?
So she didn't really talk to other people. She would say hi to them or whatever, but she would talk with me at her, but I was her friend basically. Like I don't think she was telling others about, her stories or whatever, but they viewed her as, she's horrible, this and that, but then they would ask her for food. So, that was just jail, but she also put on a role for others. She's timid and scared of everything, but then when it's just she and I, she's, F this person and F that person. So, yeah, I feel like she may have not been familiar with jail, but she knew how to put on a persona and play it. So now prison's very different than jail. So, yeah.
What do you see as the major difference between prison and jail?
Oh gosh. Prison is more like what you see on the movies. It's very scary. People, carry razor blades in their mouth, preparing for just in case there's a fight. The officers are male, whereas in Leon County, they're all female. It's scary. Where jail to me is not fun, but it's not really scary, So prison is a bad place. So yeah.
So bear with me here. I'm going to kind of go step by step because I want to get back to like the.
Well, he's preparing to go step by step. Let me show you. This was me a year and a half ago, and this is my buddy Amari Gaynor. So that's me. Back turn. Remove it can clean the battery terminals. So anyway, that was me with Amari Gaynor. He plays pro football for the Raiders now. And he's beautiful to look at. He's very handsome. It did completely change my looks, didn't it? Nope. Changes the size of your head, people. Look at my head. My hair was longer. But my head is different. Look at my neck. That's why I can make fun of people with a thick neck. Oh, well, thank you, Forensic. He is sexy, can I even tell you? He is, woo! Yeah, pretty man. He is a pretty, pretty man. I have a cell phone number, too.
Quote unquote script, but we were watching all along the way while she was in the Leon County Jail, different hearings. And at one hearing, ironically, she's complaining about her hearing at a hearing. Never thought about that until right now. Anyway, she says she's got
Thanks,
inordinately narrow ear canals, we find out, which has become like an interesting revelation. So that was one thing. And then she said that the mattress was too thin and she couldn't sleep. There was another accusation, and I'm wondering if you know anything about this. One of the inmates, quote unquote, touched her buttocks while she was in the shower. Do you know about that? Did you know about that?
Yes. So that never happened. But Donna would tell me, we would walk and she would come up with ideas of what she's going to do to try to get a bond hearing. So the shower thing was not true. Maybe her hearing was off, but she would talk to me about how she's going to manipulate the psychiatrist so she looked like she had memory problems. She was never attacked. Nobody grabbed her arm. No one was, it wasn't, no, she never got touched in the shower.
So there was no like Babette in the jail who's grabbing her behind. I mean, she is.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Okay. So again, this just it doesn't even reek. It just shouts manipulation. So tell me about like these. I guess would it happen on your walks where she would say, "So Drina, I've got this idea. I'm going to tell my lawyer that my ear canals are bothering me. I'm going to then say that some big woman tried to touch my ass, and I'm going to try to get a bond here." Like, how open would she be about all this stuff with you?
No, it was more, well, what do you think? Do you think that this might be helpful in my bond hearing? And or this might be helpful. And the one with the shower thing, I said, I told her that's ridiculous. Nobody's gonna believe that. But she still went with it. So I mean, but yeah, she would just come up with these ideas and I played along with it. So,
How often would you kind of see her change from personality to personality? Like you said that she would play sort of this timid character, but then quote unquote behind closed doors. I guess when you guys were walking the yard and no one's there, now she's like this tough woman. Is that like an everyday thing that you would notice where she'd be able to like sort of become this chameleon, switch from one identity? Yeah. Describe
yes,
that.
and
Describe
well,
that.
first you said walking the yard. I just want to let you know that the annex is just one room and you can't tell if it's daytime or nighttime. And we didn't go outside for 5 months. So it's important to me for everyone to know that that was a very challenging time. So we would walk the room you saw in the video and the trial, that was the annex. So we would walk around the beds. So that
Amari Gaynor was his name.
was our area, just so you know.
Yeah, real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt here, but this I'd like to show you. No, COE. If you have either Donna's transport video or after the verdict to show Drina, because I'm sure you haven't seen any of this video. I assume of. Okay.
No, I haven't even watched the whole trial. So.
Yeah, and I'm gonna kind of go step by step through that. But now the other person who testified in this trial is Patricia Byrd. I assume you know Patricia. How well do you know her, and how was your relationship different than Donna's relationship with her?
Well, Donna didn't trust Byrd, but she needed her, so she held on to her and would get her packages, but she just didn't trust her. Byrd is a decent person. I've known her from jail, but I don't really know her that well. I can't say she's bad or good. Donna wanted her to say.
Is that the other KCL? Is that the other one that people talk about? I was there every day. This must be the other check that's KCL.
Something, and Byrd agreed to do it. Well, she didn't, but she agreed to Donna. So Donna, I think, really considered me. She trusted me.
Yeah, so. And when you say that Donna she didn't really like Patricia, but she needed her. And I'm sure it was the sentiment was reciprocated. I'm sure Patricia not in love with her either. But when you say she needed her, in what way?
She needed her to say things at the trial or to, write something for Donna. It was usually because Miss Byrd was incarcerated with Miss Magbanua as well. So it was usually let's make it look like everything was Kay's fault. That was usually her manipulation somehow. And she did it with other inmates as well. She approached them, they agreed to do it, and then nothing happened. So
now, speaking of Kay, again, for those who are just joining, that's a nickname for Katie Magbanua, who's now serving a life sentence. Tell us a little bit, by the way, about just Katie, your relationship with her. She had a chance at a plea deal, which she turned down, and is now serving a literal life sentence, which has got to be an absolute living hell. But how was your relationship with Katie Magbanua?
I mean, it was a jail friendship, but she was a very kind person. She never talked about her case. I know she has 2 kids. Her mother passed away while she was in there. I mean, I don't have anything bad to say about her. We weren't close, but you know, she was nice to everyone. That's all there. You know, there's not when you're in jail, it's not really it's rare that you find a real friend. So it can become lonely, but that's why I say you spend time with someone, but you know it's not genuine or real like the friends you may have outside of jail. It can happen, it's just rare.
Yeah. Here's another comment. You can, as a reminder, you can do it, Trina. It's a battle of the mind, praying for healing all of your broken parts, and it's going to happen. There's a mill. You'll be able to go back. We'll send you the link. You'll be able to read all the comments, and there'll be a lot of them. And we've got the best community in all of the YouTube. So I stand by that. So, now
I have that.
it all starts ironically with a powdered donut. Now Donna, she's kind of pulled you in, and now you're kind of developing this rapport, but you get the sense, that there's other things here at play. You're an addict, and she offers you pills at one point. How did that come about?
So I guess she knows a certain whoever Jerry Obed is. She was just letting me know that if I ever needed anything, knowing that I discussed my addiction with her, and just letting me know that was available to me, which I played along with it, but on the inside that made me very upset. But the pills, and then just I feel like in her mindset that, 10 grand, this person's an addict, of course they're going to do this, so, but yeah, I was angry with her for a while, but, that's just who she is. So,
yeah. Now, at one point, she apparently offers you a grand piano. Are you a piano player? I mean, that's kind of, yeah. And
yes, and that's always been my dream. So I told her that, I said I love grand pianos. I've always wanted one, and well, she would do her cry thing and tell me, I'll get you one. So
how did she respond to the COs, and how did the COs respond to her? Was she respectful of them? How did they interact?
That would have been
okay. So I don't know if she thought she was at a motel or something, but she would get extremely angry when they say they wouldn't, do something for her that, she would expect. Or, I mean, of course, it's jail. She was never very rude to them, but she never spoke highly of them, that they were just horrible and this and that. But sometimes the interactions, you could tell that a lot of the officers were irritated with her because of the air that she was entitled. But yeah, she definitely felt like she didn't belong there and she shouldn't be being treated like that. But they were just doing their job. They were never too mean or too nice to her.
Yeah. Well, if you see Charlie, there's video of her son Charlie teeing off on a female corrections officer because she accidentally hit his toe twice, and he was kind of a complete what to the corrections officer. So that runs the family.
The correction officers actually, if inmates have this stigma with their their police, we don't talk to them, but the correction officers are actually extremely encouraging if you can get past that. And they've actually, there's been times where I've been crying and they've helped me. So they're decent people, at Leon County, that's all I can speak of, but, they've helped me through a lot. So they are decent people.
Have you ever been to prison?
I have.
Yeah. So, it wasn't Lowell, was it? Was it Lowell?
Yes, it was the main unit.
Wow. That's a whole separate show, but how rough is Lowell?
Lowell is, there's no heat, no air, there's sewer coming out, there's male officers that can sexually assault the female inmates. There is, I don't know, the list goes on forever. It's hell, and I still have trauma from that. It is horrible.
How
Yes.
is? I mean, I didn't realize you were there. I would have like set aside, but this is a whole other show. But let me ask you, Donna is likely headed there. It might
She's
not
there
happen.
already.
Oh, is she there already? I know she's at the reception
Yes.
center, but in your
Mhm.
opinion, how would Donna do at Lowell?
Oh, she's going to have a very hard time. And even though Donna's a horrible person, people say I have a problem where I give too much grace, but it's going to be hard for her. It really is going to be very hard for not just the situation, the environment, but the inmates aren't going to be good to her, and it's going to be challenging. You can't, the things she would say to an officer in Leon County, if she were to say that in prison, the consequences are very different. So she's, it's going to be a struggle.
What about the money factor there, that she comes from a lot of wealth, that the prisoners find that out?
Mhm.
Will she be extorted, which is the irony of all ironies, because she said the gang members extorted her, but will she have to pay for protection there?
Possibly.
Wow.
Possibly. Yes. Especially because of the affiliation with the Latin Kings and everything. She could possibly have to do that.
Did Katie ever say anything about Donna that was like ill-intentioned? Like, if I ever see her in prison, I'm gonna kick her, you know what?
Kay never spoke about her case or anything ever at all to anyone.
And did Donna ever say mean things about Magbanua? Like, well, aside from the fact that she tell us about that. I mean, how did she perceive Katie Magbanua as this person who should take the fall for the crime, who did it? What was her perception of Katie?
That Kay should die because she ruined her family and she's a conniving vampire. Again, Kay deserves to die. I mean, she despised her. And it's almost like Donna is the queen. Donna's the leader, or not the leader, but the king. Even of Harvey, Donna rules. And I think that something must have happened between her and Kay that, made her very angry. Maybe, I don't know, but she did not like Kay. And she mentioned numerous times on different occasions that Kay deserves to be dead. So yeah, she did not like her.
If everyone thinks I'm calm tonight, I'm not. My anxiety is always at about an 11 out of 10.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. But my worry tonight is that she's on a battery that I'm terrified is going to run out. So I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. In terms of, she said to you, Donna said to you, essentially, I hate my son, which is just in and of itself is just, I mean, if you hate your son, you've got some things going on in life. But did she ever speak about her daughter, Wendy? Did you ever hear her mention Wendy?
Yes. She adored Wendy. She told me everything about her. Yes, she did speak a lot about Wendy. As a matter of fact, she said, I reminded her of Wendy. And I know that had to have been another manipulation, but because I have a passion for, I would love to be able to help women that have been human trafficked, or that's something that I'm interested in. And I guess Wendy wrote a book on that. And so, but yes, she adores Wendy. She adores Charlie. And I don't know why she has the feeling she does about Robert, because I would love my kids no matter what. So
let me tell you right now, you're way cooler and prettier than Wendy, and I've seen her in person.
Really? Thank you.
Yes, by miles. Did she ever happen to say, did Donna ever at any point admit to anything quietly? Did you ever say, because the opening quote, I think what you said in court was that she did say that it happened. She just didn't mean for it to get that out of control. How did that whole conversation come up?
Okay, so I want to share everything with you, but there are things that she told me, and I honestly don't know how powerful these people are.
Mm.
So, I mean, we could do like a crazy, amazing interview, and I'll tell you everything, and then you fly me to another country to protect me. That would be cool. But I mean, there's a lot that the family has done that just use your imagination. The family has been involved in some interesting things Donna has shared with me.
You're talking about
So
outside of the murder of Dan Markel. Are you saying besides that? Interesting.
yes.
Is it
Mhm.
are they, can I ask you, are they financial crimes?
Um, I think you should use your imagination.
Okay.
And yes, I want to, we'll say no more about that at this moment.
Yeah, well, we'll do a follow-up interview when I collect the money, and
Okay.
we'll send you to Vietnam, which will be the irony of all ironies. That's what you
Okay. You'll
yeah,
just have the feds there waiting for me. Nice
but
try.
yeah, I mean that quote at the top. I just want to let me just pick up the exact quote. I just want to I think your testimony. You know what? Let's play a
Lowell is in Ocala, Florida, outside of Ocala.
little bit of your testimony right here from the
Oh,
trial.
God.
Yeah, no, I
Okay.
know you're not. No one wants. No one wants to watch themselves except for my mom. She watches every show. Here we go. Let's watch a second of this.
I mentioned to you
Oh,
a
God.
state witness by the name of Catherine Magbanua.
Katie is not in the main at Lowell. She's in the annex at Lowell.
Yes.
And was Ms. Magbanua somebody that was known to you?
Yes, I knew Miss Magbanua from being locked up with her years before.
And how did she first bring up Magbanua to you, or did you bring Magbanua to her?
I can't remember exactly how it was brought up. I just know that it was brought to her attention.
Brought to her attention that you knew Magbanua?
Yeah.
Okay. And at some point, did the defendant try to recruit you to become a witness for her in this case?
Yes.
How did she first approach you about that?
She asked me if I would be willing to do it, and I said yes.
Okay. And was this topic discussed one time or more than one time?
More than once.
How many times can you estimate? A lot?
A lot, yes.
Okay. And what is it that she wanted you to testify about?
She wanted me to testify about numerous different things about Kay, mostly about Miss Magbanua.
And Miss Magbanua, you knew her by the nickname Kay?
Yes,
Okay. And so she had some things she wanted you to say about Kay.
correct.
At some point, did she prepare a script for you of exactly what she wanted you to testify to?
She did.
I'm going to approach and show you what I've marked as State's Exhibit 62. Whose notebook is this?
That's mine.
And whose handwriting is this on this first page?
That's Donna's, Miss Anderson.
Okay, so she wrote this in your notebook?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is it you were supposed to do with this information?
I was supposed to study it and answer it correctly on the stand for her.
So this is what she wanted you to say in court.
Yes, ma'am.
So for example, how did you know Donna Adelson? You were supposed to say everyone knew her. She's been on the news. I've seen and heard about this on TV shows and read it in the newspaper over the years.
Correct.
Do you read the newspaper?
No.
Okay. Did you know much about her or her case prior to coming in contact with her in the Leon County Jail?
No, ma'am.
And what were you supposed to do with this physical script?
I was supposed to copy it down and give it back to her.
Okay, copy it into your own handwriting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did you provide this item to my office?
Yes, ma'am.
And was it copied and returned to you?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you do with it once you returned with the original to Leon County Jail?
Return it to her.
Okay, so that's the notebook. Obvious question. I mean, what was it like to get up and testify in such a high-profile case?
I was so scared. I mean, the anxiety. Sometimes I would not even like know what she was saying to me because I was so nervous. And the jurors are right there, and I look like jail, and my kids could possibly be watching, and it was very, very overwhelming. And I was scared I didn't want to stutter, and I knew there was judgment, but it was a lot. And then when he kept attacking my character, I almost cried. But I held back. But it was very scary. And the officer that they take us up and down in our shackles at the courthouse. He told me just to remember they're just people, and that's what I kept telling myself. They're just people, just like me. But it was very scary.
Yeah, I mean, you did amazingly well.
Thank-
We're going to get to these questions, and then as we go a little bit further toward the end, I want to bring in, and I will miss some questions, so I want everyone in STS Nation to start to prepare questions, and we can do some rapid fire questions so everyone gets involved toward the end here. But the quote is that I read off the top was, and I thought we might hear it here, in terms of the crime and killing Dan Markel. You said that she did say she did it, but it was to keep her grandkids. It wasn't supposed to go that far. How did she ultimately tell you this?
Well, there wasn't like one, final conversation. It was, she would open up more and more to me. And I listened very closely. So, there would be lies that I would catch. However, it was, it came down to her admitting that, the kids were hers, and she said a lot of nasty things about Dan, but I don't really want to discuss that because I just feel like his family, they deserve all the help and love that they can get. And I think that it's important to only focus on the positive with him. But she spoke very negatively, and yes, she did admit to a lot. I just think when it comes to that, it's more important to focus on the beauty of Dan and the children.
Did she at any time either say that Wendy or Charlie or Harvey helped her with this?
Charlie, to her angel, completely innocent. She never spoke either way. With Wendy, she would hit on it a little bit, but there was never like a full admission. But with Harvey, it was Harvey's gonna go along with and do whatever Donna says. So yeah.
If you had a guess, your gut could tell you a lot of things. Would you, at this point, do you think that both Wendy and Harvey, who are unindicted co-conspirators, does your gut from your conversations with Donna tell you that they had something to do with this?
I feel as though they were under their mother's control, and that we'll just say Donna is good at manipulating people, and you guys can, take it from there with if Donna told them to do something, I believe they would do it, but I can't know for sure.
Okay, that's fair. We're obviously gonna have to get back on the show for a part 2 at some point. Now, during her statement at sentencing, she's crying and saying that Dan was a victim in all this. He didn't deserve this. In your opinion, was that just, I mean, you said that she said horrible things about Dan. Is she just completely acting for the public there?
So I haven't seen that, but if that's what she was doing, that's not what she shared with me at all.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. She was crying crocodile tears. No tears were coming out. And she said that Dan is a victim. He didn't deserve any of this. But you're hearing something completely different from her, correct?
Right. He was a controlling husband and he was just this and that. And yeah, there was never a, there was no guilt, no remorse. So yeah, I mean, I didn't watch that, but if no.
I mean, that was my next question. Do you ever get a sense from her that she felt badly that Dan Markel was killed, shot in the head twice?
No, maybe she felt bad that it didn't go as planned and that she was locked up, but I never, no, I did
So
not get a sense that she felt bad. No.
So any of like the awful feelings would be for herself that she got caught, is what you're saying.
Right. Or for Charlie or for what they're going through. Yes.
Wow. Wow. Okay, let me just pull up a question here. This is Dr. Reinhardt from earlier. Were you surprised that Donna wrote out a script for you? How long did she work on it? I mean, when I heard that, I was like, this woman is cooked. You know, she is convicted. I mean, just the audacity to have someone like to literally write a script in your own handwriting.
Right.
How did that process play out? Did she say, I have an idea, let me write this down for you? How did it all play out?
Okay, so like I told you, when tables turned for me, when she made the comment about Robert, and it was then that I realized, okay, wow, this woman, if you can't love your son, something's wrong. And so then it was like my eyes were open. But after that, I realized what she was doing. And so I started, please don't judge me for this, but, talking to the investigators more. And I knew that there would be judgment and that people wouldn't believe me. So when Donna was telling me all these things, I thought, well, maybe she could write them down for me. And so I said, listen, can you write this down for me? Because I'm not going to remember it. So she wrote it down, but her thing was I had to give it back to her so they wouldn't find anything in her handwriting.
This is fascinating. And I want to respect the investigation, but basically investigators, I don't want to say guided you, but you were talking to investigators. So
yes, but that they were not guiding me. They always told me, let her come to you. Do not, probe. I did that, what I just told you. I was speaking with them because when, I was on camera, obviously, and I didn't know what to do when she would tell me certain things. So I would call, and I didn't know when I was just supposed to stop, because honestly, I didn't want to keep talking to her, so there was that, but then information was needed. So it was a confusing time. But I think I did what I was supposed to.
I think you definitely did. Can I just ask you, would they come to the jail to speak to you? Because that seems a little risky and that Donna might get word of that, right?
So at times they did, yes. But the jail has a way of making it to where they're not like, Drina, you're going to talk to investigators about Donna, so no, she, I mean, if she got suspicious, she didn't stop talking to me or anything. But usually if I was scared about some things she said, I would just call them and ask, what should I do? And there were times where I was like, what have I gotten myself into? I don't want to do this anymore. But I didn't really have a choice. I had kind of already done it, and then I knew that I had to do what I had to do to, and I did. And I just really hope that something positive comes out of all this, not just for the Markel family, but even with me, if something happens to where ultimately I can encourage other addicts or bring light to the fact that all men that are incarcerated are not bad people, then I would do it again. I would be incarcerated again if something good could come out of it.
Spill the crime tea here. Drina, when did Donna realize that you were not going to lie for her? Did that change the dynamic for you in jail?
Hi, John.
She did not realize that until trial.
That's a little too late for her. From Pamela, Trina, SDS community has your back. We will fully support you. Addiction is a disease and takes a village to recover. My sister is a few weeks from 1 year sober and just
I just looked up her case. Hold on, I'll tell you who her attorney was. I don't remember now. I just literally looked it up. I'm getting to her. I would go back to prison if I thought something good. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Stop it. Why do people have to act like that? In and out, chances are, statistically, you're going back eventually anyway. 21 times? It'd be a miracle if you don't go back. Let's see. Burglary of a conveyance. Her attorney probation ordered adjudicated. Let me get it. Counsel for defendant, but it's a signature I can't read. Hold on. I'm looking for her attorney. This is what I'm looking at. She had public defender right here. Sorry. She did not have Tim Jansen. She had a public defender right here. I have no idea what you're talking about, Blue River. I apologize. Thanks, Forensic. I appreciate that. Oh, for context, some dude stalked and tried kidnapping a girl. Then her mom comes to the rescue, and then he assaults the mother. When he's arrested, he pled not guilty. Oh, it's just so disgusting. Thanks, Forensic. How many people occupy Leon County? That's a great question. The most recent figures, 918 inmates as of March 2025. They do not, that's the most recent available data. The capacity is 1,192. That's a great question. That's a good question. Thank you. Tim Jansen is not the public defender. It's Yuri's office. Zachary Ward, private. That was 1024, but he didn't last. She had a bond. Bond was removed. I mean, she's a troubled person. She's troubled. I hope she does well. Just statistically, it's going to be very challenging for her. Hopefully, she ends being around all those people, right?
Just had a liver transplant. Transplant. You got this. I have no doubt. Amen to that. For full.
For being on battery, she's doing really well.
Right. Well, so I called him and
Put it this way, Drina Bernhardt is doing a hell of a lot better on her first time of surviving the Survivor than I did. Okay, so I'm gonna give her that. Kudos to Drina.
and of course identified myself as Sunshine. And then
No, some other chick who made a comment had a liver transplant from being an addict.
and he asked me to set up oh gosh, there's some sort of app where you can't trace the discussions, and I can't think of it. But an app like, yeah, thank you.
Signal?
That's it.
Okay,
Signal. Yes.
Okay.
So yes, so we downloaded that, and maybe a few times he called me, but never any threats. It was just how are you, Sunshine, and stuff like that. I was promised so much from Donna that it was just unreal. And but yeah, no, Harvey never threatened me. He always remained that calm, like I said, boss type demeanor. So yeah.
What's your hunch? I mean, who's the real, I'll use this word, I know it's not you, but who's the real manipulator here? Is it Donna or is it Harvey? Does Donna pull all the strings?
Let's see. So Donna, I feel that Harvey definitely has power in different ways, but Donna was the boss. Yeah, but she can't do that with everyone.
Very interesting. For Yellow Fun Bug, go back to the question when you were saying, Drina, this is the very beginning. I was walking in the yard and Donna said, and then I probably interrupted you. Can you complete that sentence?
I mean, we walked around numerous times. You have to give me a little more. Donna said what?
Yeah, I think it was maybe at the very beginning. And please, Yellow Fun Bug, let us know specifically. I think at the very beginning you were talking about how she was talking about her hatred for Rob, and you already told us that she wanted to kill him by shoving a shoe down his throat, which is, I mean, Drina, just taking a half step back here. I mean, this, in my opinion, at the worst, it's just pure evil. At the best, it's just very manipulative. But now you've got a husband who's calling you, obviously just trying to himself manipulate a situation, maybe following Donna's orders, but he's still doing this. Do you think this whole family, they say they're an enmeshed family, but in your dealings with Donna, outside of the estranged son, do you get the feeling that this family was just so entangled in each other?
Definitely. That's a very good way to put it. Very good way to put it. Yes.
Do you feel like it got to the point like that they were so depraved and entangled that they couldn't, like, it was hard for them to see good from bad, or, good from evil, or bad from good, or I don't know. Did it get to a point, you think, where they just lost sight of any kind of light in their life?
I believe that they thought of they were each other's light, and they would do whatever they had to protect them. So therefore, nothing, no, they didn't think anything was, there was nothing too bad for them to do to keep that family knit together. So, yeah, I really liked the way that you put that, because aside from Rob, yeah, it was definitely a interesting dysfunction.
Now, I'm particularly interested in Wendy. I'm the youngest child. Wendy's the youngest child. I know how to press my mother's buttons. I think that Wendy knows how to press her mother's buttons. At this, there were times, well, I don't know if it was during this 5-month stint that you were initially there with Donna, but there were times where
So there's Waste Pro is out there pulling up the dumpsters and it's super loud. So I went and checked to make sure that's what was going on. But I got a new chair at there's a secondhand store here called Pop's Attic. And it's a really nice chair, but when I get up, I like shock myself. It's a nice chair.
this is actually much earlier because it's when Donna is speaking to Charlie while Donna is still free. But we've heard jailhouse calls, and I know there's moments where Donna is really angry with Wendy. Did you get any of that from Donna at any point that Wendy is betraying the family, that she basically threw her brother under the bus, Charlie, any of that stuff? Did you hear any of that from Donna?
Yeah, well, Donna doesn't like within her family if she's got a plan and it's got to be, it has to happen exactly, how she set it up. So if one thing goes wrong, even if it's a small thing, then she's going to be very angry. So if Wendy steps to the left instead of the right on a Tuesday, then Donna's going to be pissed if it, did anything. And honestly, I feel like her children may even have been scared of her. I would have been scared if that was my mom. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really fascinated by this because, one of the things that Georgia and Sarah Catherine Dugan, the two prosecutors, say at the beginning is that killers and murderers don't look like what you necessarily think they're going to look like. And the picture that you're painting and other people have painted, not just you, is that she's a real face of evil, this woman. And I wouldn't be surprised if the kids were afraid of her. You said you saw like her switch from like this timid kind of personality to like very vocal and sort of a Grandma Gotti type, which is what people said. Was she filled with rage?
Why is Patty up? That is a great question, Max. Why am I awake? I don't know. But I'm here.
Was there a part of her you think that was filled with rage?
Yes, if you can picture like The Exorcist. So there's like the, sweet, and then there's like it was that severe, like the, I don't know if I can cuss, but the F you and this, and the voice even changed. And it's like, yeah, it was scary. I mean, there was a huge change in character and how easy she could flip it on and off, for the officers or for whoever. I know we all change, depending on who we're around to a certain extent, but that was schizophrenia or possession or something. I'm not sure, but it was definitely a scary thing for me to experience. And I can only imagine what it was like growing up in that household.
It's fascinating to me because at the very beginning you said that you grew up incredibly poor, but you were so happy you didn't know. And a lot of times you talk to kids. My mother is a Holocaust survivor, and like when I speak to her and her friends, they always talk about what a beautiful, happy childhood they had. Even though some of them were hiding out, not my mother, but one of her friends had to hide inside a coffin.
Hey, Max.
But when you talk to her, she was like, "Oh, it was so much fun. I was little. My mom loved me." It's fascinating. And then you've got this horrific woman, this mother, Donna, who's an absolute nightmare. And I wouldn't be surprised if Charlie and Wendy and Rob were all terrified of this lunatic of a woman. By the way,
imagine being on for 3 hours and 20 minutes and not having a meltdown. That's talent.
Did you ever see the clip of her on Wheel of Fortune?
I did actually. And Wendy was on The Weakest Link as well. And I believe she won.
Yeah. When Donna described, she was asked what she does on Wheel of Fortune. This is back in 1989. and she says she's a domestic coordinator. What did you think of that when she said that? She was running the show back then.
I mean, it's fitting. Yeah, very fitting. She's definitely the
I'm
coordinator.
talking nonsense. It's kind of getting on my nerves. Sorry. They're not saying anything that we don't already know, right? If John, if you want to send me that song, I can play it. I mean, seriously, they're wrapping it up, and it's just nothing like a big deal. Good for her, though. I mean, it's hard to give up anything, whether it's Diet Coke or McDonald's, Big Macs, or I'm a big fan of the Big Mac. It's hard to give up anything. You saw the ugly rage when she was convicted. She also lost her shit. She lost her shit a couple times. Thanks for noticing the chair, John. It kind of lays back. Oh, I just snapped my back. It feels good. So this is the list of airports that are about to be affected. Anchorage, so it goes in alphabetical order. The top 40 airports will be affected. Tallahassee is not one of them. International flights are excluded from this issue. So I should be okay. Because I fly Tallahassee, which is not in this, to Atlanta, Atlanta to Paris, Paris to Venice. So I should be okay. We shall see. I'm worried. I'm worried with forensic. I am worried. John, are you sending me that song? John. She did go demon road. She is a demon. She's a bitch. She killed a man. She killed a man. I mean, you can't. Allison says it best. You cannot rationalize that behavior away. You cannot rationalize Wendy's behavior away because she has kids. What's wrong with the airport? Department of Transportation came out and said they're going to cut 10% of the flights because of the pressure on the air traffic controllers. Night, Liza. Have a good one. Oh, John said he'd be back in a minute. Thanks, Forensic. So, yeah, so that's the story. FAA will require airlines to begin cutting flights from these 40 airports starting as early as today. Airlines will start cutting 4% of flights per day until they reach 10% per day next week. But I should be okay because international long-haul flights and hub-to-hub will not be affected. Hey, Patriotic, you were playing on replaying. Came here to leave you a nice comment. It was jam-packed with info. Thank you. Oh, yeah, I was ranting for a little bit. When do you leave? I leave. I always like to say this word like my best friend Deborah says, Thursday, because she's Irish. So she doesn't say the TH. Another friend and I said we're going to get her a H. When she says, she doesn't say H, she says H. We're going to get her a H for Christmas. But Thursday I leave. Thursday, the 13th. I leave a week from today. Can you believe that? Oh my God, I'm so excited. I haven't packed yet. You sent it? I haven't packed. I'm going to practice the packing this weekend. I will be practicing the packing. Who says that? Somebody like me who is a big planner, I have to practice. Are you ready? I don't know what this is about. Oh my God, juicy fruit.
Patty came into the courtroom, took her seat and looked around. The jury was about to come in. The verdict had just come down. She pulled out her tablet and began to type away. This was what she'd waited for, and it was happening today. The jury filed in one by one, their faces all looking stern. You could cut the air with a knife. It was finally Donna's turn. Tension was high, her throat was dry. So Patty took out a piece of gum. She put it in her mouth, not even thinking of what she'd done. She got a tap on her shoulder. The bailiff said, sorry, but you have to come along. Patty followed her into the hall and said, what did I do wrong? She said, we had a report that you were chewing gum. Patty said, can you tell me where that report came from? The bailiff said, a stringy-haired blonde is the one who told me that she had skinny legs, knotty knees, and a face that would kill a cat. Patty said, come on, lady, this can't be happening to me. You pull me out of court for chewing gum while murderers are walking free. For years the Adelson Mafia has been out walking the street. But God forbid I chew a piece of gum and I'm caught by the Juicy Fruit Police. The bailiff thought about it and said, I'm gonna let you go back in. She said, don't let that stringy-haired blonde see you chewing gum again. Go on now and watch the verdict. You've been here for trial every day. Get the news to your subscribers, but keep the gum put away. Patty said, come on, lady, this can't be happening to me. You pull me out of court for chewing gum while murderers are walking free. For years the Adelson Mafia has been out walking the street. But God forbid I chew a piece of gum and I'm caught by the Juicy Fruit Police.
I was freezing in that courtroom. Absolutely freezing. I was so nervous for the market. I was just shaking and I was freezing. And it really was cold in there. I bet it was a good 62. It was very cold. I thought John was going to write about the rotunda. The rotunda. Where's that bitch came up to me and says, let me think about it. She goes, you're a coward and I hope your dog gets raped. Who says that out loud? Who even thinks it? You're a coward and I hope your dog gets raped. You'll send me a cozy for Wendy's trial. Nuttier than a squirrel, man. She ain't normal, man. Erin Rickards is not your normal person. And she's HR and she's screaming about your dog being raped in a freaking courthouse. Oh, so funny. But it was a cold room. It was very, very cold. She still is nuts. She thinks that crap up. Well, remember, I got a text message that said it. I don't know if I kept it. Hold on. Did I keep that? I know I have it in a file like on my desktop. Yep. Trash. John is never going to be done with songwriting. I hope not, anyway. He's amazing. Well, I hope you all have a very fine evening wherever you are. It's 1:30 in the morning here. I am not having a meltdown. What is her name? Lauren Matthias. I'm going to have to go to that and watch it. This girl on your bus that got in trouble for chewing gum. She told the bus driver she wishes her butt could chew gum. That was in the 70s. That was a great tune, though. Music was good. We'll have to send it to Aaron. Song that could kill a cat. There's a new one there about Charlie, too. We'll have to play it on another day, John. Well, thank you. I look amazing and not tired at all. GLP-3 people. That's all I can tell you. GLP-3. GLP-3. My legs are tired because I'm getting restless leg syndrome sitting here. But the chair is nice, right? The chair is nice. And I got new lighting. Can you tell? I have a honeycomb light up above my head. So that's been nice. It's not as grainy when I'm on. And my eyes better. Things are turning up. Things are turning up in my life. I do have to take my husband to the doctor tomorrow. He has, I don't know what made me see it, but he turned his head funny. And he has a lump right here. And he has no pain to it. So we'll see tomorrow. There's no pain like a cyst might cause pain or like tenderness. He doesn't have any pain. But it's right here. Right extends from the ear. And it's about this big. It's a nice sized lump. Oh, I always look great. I wish to God that was true. Thank you, Forensic. I am really concerned about the cruise ship and which I bought today. Because I didn't know about it, a dual voltage curling iron. It's $20. I had to buy another curling iron. But we'll see. It was Katie Kool-Aid's birthday yesterday. Max, how old is she? Is she 70 yet? How old is Kathleen Monkman? How old is she? Do you know? 60. That's it? I thought she was like 70. No, he goes to the dentist on a regular basis. It's not dental. It's right up here. It's further up. And it's under the skin because I can feel it. She looks far older than 66. Far older. You still have her driver's license. Oh my God. What's she look like now? See if Reddit's posted. I haven't seen it because I haven't gone on there. Oh, Vicious Catty Mean Girl. Oh, look at this. Here you go. This bitch is so stupid. Vicious Catty Mean Girl, Erin Rickards, tried to tear down this lovely young lady with insults. Keep the strength to stay sober. Why would you do that? trash. Just pure trash. There's nothing, unless she gets attention, she's just an evil bitch. Thank you. I will let you know tomorrow. Years ago, she put it in your safe and it's still there. Does this make you the Energizer Bunny? I think it really does. I mean, I was always a late night person, but I don't have anything in the morning. I don't have any appointments until 11 tomorrow, so it worked out. I have 2 things tomorrow night, so it'll depend on that whether I can come on tomorrow night. That's a nice look, isn't it? It's soothing. It's very mysterious. Well, you guys have a great evening. Thank you for the compliments about my weight. I do appreciate it. It is nice to sit in a chair and not have your ass flowing over the sides. So I'm very happy and very grateful for GILP3 and Eli Lilly. They're not sponsors for this show, but I will show my undying gratitude that I can now see a collarbone. It's very nice. So thanks all. Have a great evening. I appreciate you all very much because I have the best subscribers. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.